Haven't been live in like forever. Totally a lot of integration, tons and tons of integration. So yeah, super excited. So this is Joanna. We're going to see if we can see any light ships and any amazing stuff that's kind of going on in the space, because my teams love to come with me and play with all the celestial energies and the alien energies and the light ships. Sometimes they come in like clouds, and you can see them in one of my videos. I think 2 or 3 videos ago, there was a little cloud ship, and if you touch on that cloud ship and you expand it, and then it kind of goes like a little bubble back and forth, and you can see it pulsate. That's how you know it's a light ship, because the cloud actually comes to life in and of itself. So just watch that. I always watch for light ships and clouds, and those are just those little darker things are little leaf imprints. The leaves got stuck to my car and they didn't want to leave. So today we're going to talk about so many cool, amazing things. Like my most favoriteest topic is like soul blueprints, because it's so amazing. It's when you really get to explore who you are as like this beautiful, like divine experience of like a jillion different lifetimes that you all exist upon. All of you exist upon infinite number of timelines, infinite number of bodies, infinite number of forms, infinite number of shapes. You've experienced all religions. You've experienced being the suppressor. You've experienced being the one suppressed. You've experienced one being the oppressor. You've had every different lifetime of all of these various experiences. Now the challenge of this, the challenge and the beauty and the blessing of a soul blueprint is that you get to then master yourself within every new lifetime experience. The greater in consciousness awareness that you have, consciousness is everything. Consciousness is your awareness to move about any creational reality, whether you're a 9th dimensional Pleiadian, 8th dimensional Arcturian, 7th dimensional Sirian. Consciousness is your ability to know who you are within and of itself, the micro-macro effect. So if you have a low vibrational consciousness and you're stuck in a lot of density because there's not a lot of light moving through there, and you're stuck within a compounded experience of suppression and depression and worry and anxiety and all that dense over manipulation of mental space, because beliefs are just mental experiences that you just keep experiencing over and over again. So you have to break those patterns so that light can actually get in and flow, so that source can get in and do what source does, which is just heal. Light heals, light moves apart, light expands, life contracts in and of itself. So the more that you're allowing light and life to flow through you quite amorously, quite vibrantly, quite radiantly, you're just allowing yourself just to be more and more source. That light in and of itself creates a lot of healing and transmutation, just quite naturally. So the process of ascension, we're going to go through the process of ascension today, talking about blueprints, why it's so important about karmic, and we say karma because we want you to start embracing it, because it's truly a blessing and how you become the master of yourself. Ascension is self-actualization. When you are becoming the return of source itself, you are becoming the godliness of God. You are of the elegance and you are of the representation of the heavens. You are in the image of God, meaning the mother and the father. You're then of your highest intention of who you are as a divine being of light is your creative expression. That is the sacred child. That is releasing all of the beliefs, the impressions, the imprints, the projections, all of the social imprints, anything that is a layer that you put on yourself that you choose. You choose to take it on because you've been told, taught, or shown that this is what you're meant to be. Everyone has that unique sense of veil, if you will, and they come in a multidimensional packet. They come from your lineage, they come from your kosh, they come from aspects of your social experience, and they come from your environment that you've been brought up to, and some of them have been unfortunately very strong, dense, brainwashing type of experiences, which lead you to a very dense experience, because you end up taking on a whole bunch of shit that's not really yours, that you didn't choose. But now that you're awake and aware to that, which means that you're claiming who you are within the center, the more that you work with light, clearing up those old experiences, the light in and of ourselves on the planet, because remember, everybody's experiencing a unique and different earth based on their consciousness. Dimension is information and consciousness. So if you're in a low vibrating consciousness, very dense, you're say you're working in the underground, you do a lot of corruption, you lie, you deceive. When you create a lie, you actually put a veil over your multidimensional bodies, because your spirit knows what it means to be fully free and flowing. you're meant to be living in the freedom of who you are. You're meant to be expressive of who you are. You're meant to be exploratory of who you are. You're meant to be experiencing yourself as all that you are. If you're living in denial of who you are, that's why knowing thyself is so important, because it always returns you to center. It always returns you to the sacred child. It always returns you to be the highest expression of you. Therefore, your light is always flowing. You're always returning back to self to get light. You're always expressing yourself in light. It's a constant give and receive equal experience. You know yourself as God. You're expressing yourself as God. You're returning yourself back as God. And the universe will place whatever it is before you based on your radiance, your emanation, your vibration. So the more that you're working within the natural elegance of just what is source, of just what is light, of just what is the planet, you're actually receiving light that actually pulls the stuff up for you to face, for you to move through, for you to choose, does this really fit me now? Does that piece of clothing really work for me? Does that color really work for me now? That's what the beliefs and the karma experiences are. That's why you manifest everybody before you. That's why you manifest those that have harmed you, that have hurt you. All of those are just stories. You got to change the story. You got to say, okay, this is the story happening in my life. It's a really negative, thick and dark, dense karmic story, whether it's about your weight loss, whether it's about your friend circle, whether everything that we move through in life right now is about relationships. As we said 4 years ago, go back to my videos. My videos 2 years ago said they were preparing us 4 years ago for these 2 years that we're sitting in right now. Between now and Christmas will be a huge purging and cleansing, as my video 3 or 4 months ago said. Between now and December 31st, there will be a lot of purging of a lot of the Illuminati, underworld, corruption, all of those leaders that will refuse to change, that only want to bring war and damage and hate to humanity. All of those energies are being cleansed out by the 31st of December because we want to move through these higher vibrational shifts. They're in and of themselves just doing it themselves by creating lower vibrational earths for themselves. And that's why we see some of these purgings of energies, especially in the very karmic, earthly human areas like Middle East. Those are very stenched historical trauma areas. And so those energies have to be purged, specifically about all the religious traumas that were created in those areas. And they still are. So as you're moving through this cycle of time, everything that you see unfolding in the reality is a good chance for you to bring that in and do your journaling. What are my karmic experiences? What are my karmic stories? How am I doing with my karmic energy? If you're looking at the karmic densities, the karmic experiences that are before you, whether it's friends or family, whether it's work, anything that triggers you, everything that you're dealing with in those experiences of your soul, embrace it, because that allows you to then create that positive karma. Because Spirit just wants to know, are you processing what's in front of you? That's what we said about dimensional experience. The more consciously aware you are, doing your very best, Spirit doesn't think that you're going to master everything in one day. That's why you always have that going forward and pressing out. That's that contraction and expansion. You're going to 10 steps forward, 3 steps back, 5 steps forward, 2 steps back. And we're going to go into... I'm oscillating on a faster frequency right now, so I'm going to be talking fast. So I always suggest in these videos, just watch it with an open heart. That's how you get the codes that I'm offering as the Christ conduit. Just open your heart and just sit with an open space with your hands up. Just take your lots of deep breaths and call in your highest light. Call in your highest healing teams to bathe you with light, to bathe you with love, to bathe you with energy. And then watch the videos again and take notes. And then reflect upon your daily life. This is what we call doing the work. It's called your ascension path. And when you get intimate with your ascension path, you start claiming your ascension path. You start working with your ascension path every day. You start doing your work every day. And we say work means that you're becoming a soul. That's what the inner work means. You're now becoming manifestation of a soul. And people always ask me, how do you know what you know? How do you know what to talk about when you just need to talk about? I know because I'm operating as a bigger soul. I know right now I'm oscillating really quickly. I could go off in 1,000 different tangents, but I really have to call my energy in. And that's why some people end up leaving the video, because the energy is just too much for them. The codes are just too much and they don't get it. So those that stay throughout the end, you'll know that you're always going to get what you're going to get. Your teams and your higher self and your fields will always bring in what you're ready to bring in. Sometimes people do get tired because the codes and the energies that we're offering are higher vibration, because I'm operating a new bandwidth, which means that I'm flowing in greater light. I'm excited, and I've always been excited to teach what I teach, but we're offering more purified, rarefied light, as too, so is the micro-macro experience that we're all within on the planet Earth. Everybody's experiencing different Earth based on the level of consciousness they hold. Consciousness and the dimension that you experience is, again, information, how much you're able to integrate, how much you're able to ingather, how much you're able to seek based on your own excitement, how much you're able to process, and how much you're able to move through your body, because that old energy got to move. all your old beliefs, all your old perspectives, all the old veils that you thought. And that's why we've always said, do you know your ascension cycle? Are you intimate with your ascension cycle? What are you doing as far as path work? Because that allows you to actually see yourself in the reflection of everything that's unfolding, because it is. Everything within Creational universe is the entire multiverse living through you, and then it's showing itself to you. Everything you see before you is a manifestation of your wholeness, except you've never claimed it as such. That's why everything in our social experience absolutely will be broken and rewritten, especially when it comes to religion, because religion has been one of the most profound, dogmatic, staunch belief systems that have held us in separation, because it's allowed us. Religion was meant to only be like a vague rule for us to follow how to navigate in a human body on an earthly planet. That was it. That was all it was meant to do. And we've turned it into this manipulation of hundreds and hundreds of different religions that separate us from one another, praying to God in different ways, and God's is meaning different things, which is wonderful and great, because you can pray to God in a different number of ways and however you want. God is God. God is everywhere in all things. But it was never meant to keep us staunch and us hiding behind anything. Religion was just merely vague alternate rules that were, how do we move about this planet? We've never been here before. That was the very first inception of what was consciousness. What is conscious? Well, you're in a human body. We create matter. You know, God created the earth in 7 days. All of those things were just an explanational story of creational reality. But we're meant to go far, far beyond that. We're far beyond 3D, you know, very limited experiences of who we are and what we exist within. That is those 3 questions of ascension. The ascension process is your awakening into your self-actualization. You're becoming the God of the God self, the God returning to the God self. And it is an actual process. I've been teaching about the ascension process for over 16 years, plus all the other timelines that I belong on. So that allows you to understand, who are you, what do you exist within, and what's going on within you, why we see everything changing in our world. We see everything changing as a collective, but then again, know that you're experiencing a unique earth based on your information and your consciousness that you're able to integrate and process and move through your multidimensional bodies. Every single person on this planet is a multidimensional being, which means they give information and they send information at a multidimensional level, because we are not just humans in a physical body. Our body is spirit. That we are. Everything we are is a multidimensional experience. We're multidimensional beings, but nobody's ever taught us how to behave, how to call in ourselves as source, how to live as source, how to transmute energy as source. I'm a master transmutational alchemist. I know how to transmute dark and dense energies. I've been taken to hell 100 times and back. I've done that on many timelines, many different planets, many different realms. I'm here to teach about how to work with the multidimensional bodies, how to understand the ascension process and not get triggered so much so that you continue yourself in really dark, dense karmic experiences. That devil that you face, those shadows that you face, those that seem to be those poking energies in your field that just don't seem to let you go, you can navigate all of those experiences. You can navigate the darkest of the dark. You can navigate the dark night of the soul. You can navigate what you might think is going to take you down. It won't. You just have to shift the story and say, no, if I'm God within this, what is the lesson within this that I'm meant to explore and I'm meant to experience and express? Because you're meant to see yourself in new ways. And Spirit's going to keep throwing you, and I say spirit meaning your soul, your own soul. Your soul is going to keep manifesting whatever it needs to make sure that your soul is a whole package of energy. You belong with many different timelines, many different experiential bodies, many experiential themes that you're working with. Based on what the collective needs, your soul will always come with the sacred trinity. Your soul blueprint is directly related to your Akashian, your lineage, and your family. It's related to the collective, and it's related to your individual soul and all those in your pod that you belong with. Your higher self, your oversoul, your oversoul of oversouls, your oversoul of oversouls, all the way to the multidimensional multiverse experience. You belong to an infinite number of species, and why you always have guides. If you're not heeding your guides' experiences and the information and the wisdoms and the offerings that your guides are giving to you, your guides will always keep you safe. Your guides will always keep you protected. Your guides will always keep you up to date on wisdoms and healings that you need. If you're not heeding the guides' experience of what the guides are asking of you, then your guides will step back and let you experience your own karma. Because you need to. You need to understand that what you're putting out absolutely is coming back. That is the experiential creational reality. All that you are as a vibrational being, you're constantly sending information and giving it. Everybody does this as an experiential being. Because remember that everybody has the 3 E's. How you go about those 3 E's is based on your level of consciousness, your level of awareness, and what you're able to process as information, as light. Everything is light.
The physical matter is just an illusion that we manifest so that we can see ourselves in a physical quasi-experience. The higher we go in vibration, the less physical we become because we're more operating in light. But the physical is just how we try to navigate the densest part to the most light part. That's why angelics are seen as pure light. They're seen as angelics, and the beings that are with me right now, they know how to be seen and how not to be seen. Those that are higher in vibrational consciousness will see through their third eye, and they see stuff going on. They see energies. They feel energies. That's being a multidimensional being. Those that tune on to our vibration, they can tune into the multidimensional Christ consciousness because it's always what I offer. And it's just up to you to say, yes, I'm multidimensional. You have to acknowledge it. Remember the 3 A's. So your soul is always the 3 E's. How you move about it, how you clear your karma, how you clear and transmute energy is the 3 A's. I'm going to acknowledge that I'm a multidimensional being. I'm going to accept that I'm a multidimensional being. Yeah, I want to start processing this energy. Tell me how to do it. That's when you're living in a full alignment of you being this multidimensional vessel that you are, that you've always been. You're always going to be a multidimensional vessel, always. You exist within a multiverse experience, so you have to be a multiverse experience. You are. We're called humans on this planet, but you are a multi-dimensional multiverse experience. You belong to the galactics. You belong to the federations. You belong to the aliens. You belong to the dark realm. You belong to the light realm. You belong to the heavens. There's no way that you cannot. You belong to it all. That's why when you come to this earthly experience and you have that higher perspective is called what? It's also called consciousness, because you've allowed yourself to accept and acknowledge and allow higher and greater and bigger and wider and deeper things that you know yourself to be. Who are you? What do you exist within? What exists within you? You're allowing this to be transmutable. You're allowing yourself to say, well, maybe there's more than just one religion. Maybe there can be 1,000,000 religions. And what if there was no religion at all? What would that do? That's allowing yourself to ascend, because you don't have to stay stuck to a certain level of beliefs, because in the all of creation, the all is the all. There's people that walk upside down. And then you would say, well, how does that happen? That's incredible. How is that even possible? Well, it is. All is all. If you can imagine it, it's all. So we're just now accepting ourselves as all. And now we get to operate as higher vibrational beings, because as we operate in greater light, we get to experience more of a bandwidth. That bandwidth is called dimension. And that dimension is very, like in 3D, that dimension is very deep. Because all the dark corruption stuff is now coming up for us to face. What does that mean to you? How have you been corrupt? How have you been choosing to sway from your authentic self, your sacred child self? And that's why, when we said earlier, every time you create a lie, anytime you deviate from that sacred experience of who you are as light, anytime that you choose deceit, manipulation, thievery, anything where you're going against the sacred child knows who the sacred child is as light with God. The sacred child knows that the sacred child is amazing. The sacred child knows that, wow, I'm going to be curious. I'm going to play today. Anytime you deviate, surrender to another person's belief if you're in a crowd. Just giving to you a few social examples. If you're at work and somebody's gossiping and you give in to those gossips. The Mean Girls Club. Black magic. Cults. Whatever you want to call them, it doesn't matter what the words are. We're giving you these as examples of how you deviate from the soul of who you are. And every time you do that, you're creating an experience which is very profound and necessary. You have to create those experiences. You have energy in your field that wants you to give your power away. And a lot of that is stemming from dogmatic brainwashing. Because you want to fit to believe in. You want to pray to believe in. You want to do all of these things that say, well, to be in our religion, you've got to be this, this, and this. No, well, to be in the all of God, you just have to simply be. So allowing yourself to navigate through those experiences that are religious traumas or school traumas where you got to do this to fit in, you got to do that to fit in. You get rewards from your parents if you do this. You get rewards from your parents if you do that. Everybody is conditioned. So now you got to pull every condition up and say, no, I'm going to be unconditionally me now. That's how you heal a lot of karma, because most of the people that were brought up in the era of my generation and older, it was all conditional. Very few people were brought up in an absolutely unconditional experience where they were loved and they were taught about your emotions and they were taught about the power of your emotions and they were taught about not fitting in. Why would you want to fit in? You're meant to be as creative and expressive and dynamic as you're meant to be. And that means, yes, light language. That means you can sing and you can tone and you can bring angelic tones to this earth and you can heal somebody by your sound. And I can do that. That's my creative expression. That's my creative birthright. I have a creative birthright that has not been touched before on this planet, and I'm going to touch it down. I'm going to anchor it. That's being 100% creatively aligned. I am the sacred child. I am working in my authentic version. Anytime I deviate from that, being squashing myself, suppressing myself, depressing myself, anything that's a limitation that squishes the energy, that is a dense experience. That is illness. That's disease. That's warping of the mind or the spirit. And you're going to have to clear it because you chose that. You chose to give your power away in a social situation. You chose to give your power away by lying. You chose to give your power away by thinking you were something you were not. Those are all very powerful experiences, but it doesn't have to be how you continue. Because you want your body, you want your experience to be as open as possible, as flowing as possible. But you're the one, again, that has to go through the 3 A's. I accept that I did that. Why did I do that? Well, I wanted to be accepted. Well, what if you accept yourself first? God always accepts you. That's a truth. God will always accept you. You're the expression, you're the experience of God. God is learning very valuable things by living through you. You just haven't connected that ball yet. You haven't said that ball is mine. You still have that ball up in the heavens somewhere to say, no, God's up in the heavens. I need to do certain things for God's experience and God's acceptance. No, God is always accepting you in every moment. And if you ask for forgiveness, God will forgive you. But you have to forgive you first for choosing to give your power away to people that don't care about you, or to doing rituals and sacrifices that don't do anything but self-implode you and destroy your sense of self. Anytime you give power away, anytime you give your energy away, anytime you give your truth away, you're degrading who you are as a spirit, because that sacred child wants to claim that energy back and say, no, this is me. I'm a great artist. I'm a great painter. I'm a great singer. I have a creative expression that nobody's seen on this planet before, and I'm going to start expressing it because it's needed for the healing of this planet. I'm going to take the hybrid and the crystalline children to a whole new level because of my sound, because of my Christic codes. I know the sound and vibration of God. So when I sing and when I make tones and when I do light language, that puts something in the field that is meant for the hybrid children, that is meant for those of a higher consciousness. And I affect every dimension that I step on. And the people that are after me, the people that come after me, they will go on the same path that I did because they will feel those vibrations of the Christ that I offer. Just as those do their sacred pilgrimages. My vibration affects matter. My vibration affects carbon. I know that. So I stand in that. I stand in the truth of who I am, and I offer it forward. That's how you alchemize. You alchemize every time you choose to be truthful, as opposed to saying a lie. Doesn't matter how the cards fall. Let the cards fall as they may. Let it break. It has to break. You cannot keep up lies in this light. You can't. That's why everybody that is watching, everybody from now until the end of time, you will see more and more every day, no lie will stand the test of time in this light. It won't. Those that are behaving in corrupt ways, those that are behaving in not aligned with their highest truth, not aligned with their higher self, not aligned with who they are as a sacred child, anybody that is not aligned, anybody that is not in their higher self and in the center of their heart, it will be seen, felt, and known everywhere. The Trumps of the world, the Clintons of the world, the Epsteins of the world. Doesn't matter how deep pockets their deep pockets are. Anybody that is not aligned in their truth. And just know this, because you can relax. Your truth today is going to change than your truth tomorrow. But as long as you're returning to center of who you are, when you're making a choice that is in your integrity, when you're making a choice that feels good for you, that is your truth at the time, and have that be okay. Your truth is not another person's truth. Like, again, you have to change the truths that you were brought up in religion. You have to change those truths because those were very basic, very distorted, very misguided truths, and they were written by a 3D man. That's not God. God is not a 3D man. God is all, period. First two laws are all you have to worry about as far as karma is concerned. Your soul blueprint is so vast. Your soul blueprint is going to take you, and your guides will take you to places where they want to detour you for a couple of years because you need experiences that have to make you grow in certain ways. About 4 or 5 years ago, there was a lot of karma that I had cleared, and I could have taken my ascension at that time. But my team said, we're going to go on a different route because she's advanced. She's cleared so much karma. She's continuing to offer information. I'm continuing to download information. I'm processing information. I'm integrating it, and I'm offering it. That's all your soul asks you to do. Remember the 3 E's. Are you experiencing it? Are you exploring it? Are you expressing it? That's what makes you grow as a soul. That's clearing your karma. And are you doing it that's in truth with you? That's who you are as a multidimensional being. If you're doing it to fit in, if you're doing it to do this, if you're doing it to have the biggest boobs, if you're doing it to be a famous writer, if you're doing it to be a famous this, a famous that, are those your truths? Or is that superficial compass points that the outer reality has that is 3D superficial, that has no idea what a spiritual, soulful being is? So again, rewrite your beliefs. Rewrite who you're trying to measure to. What are your measuring points? What is your compass? It should always be within. God is always your compass. Because God's the only one that knows the work that you do. We say work means self-love. Who am I today? I'm going to design myself. I want to be the most profound being that I can be. God is the only one that knows when you're crying by yourself, truly asking for a healing. God knows your purity of intention. Nobody else knows that. Nobody else knows the number of days that you've sat on the floor crying and bawling, asking for a way out of the dark night of the soul, because you had the courage to face that darkness. You had the courage to face whatever you sent out as a backfire. Those that do spell work, that watch my video. Because some of you are in the future going to be teachers and healers and readers. And to be a teacher and a healer and a reader, you must level up. So a lot of you come to me as karma because your guides send you to me. And I'm teaching you. If you want your gifts and your skills at a 4 and 5D level, you must abide by the top universal laws. And it's okay that you practice them. But if you are aware with intention, I'm aware of these laws, I will do my best today. That's all you have to do to show your guides that you're intentional. And if you choose not to be intentional, then you will receive the backfire and it will become immediate. That's how fast these energies are. That's why you have to be aware. We are all ascending. Ascension is a real thing. It's not just a airy-fairy woke experience. Anybody that is not abiding by the universal laws, everybody is seeing now karma hit. And everything is being shaken up and breaking up because it has to. It has to break. We will not, 5D will not have underground sex rings. We're transmuting it. We have to bring it to the forefront. We have to face it. We have to acknowledge it. We have to heal it. Because everybody that's in an underground sex ring, underground trafficking ring, anybody that sells slaves, anybody that sells humans as a slave, anybody that sells anything, they are operating in a very, very low wounded vibration. That bandwidth of consciousness is a very dense 3D experience. Remember what is dimension? Consciousness and information. The information in that consciousness is a very wounded state. They're all wounded. And they've chosen not to do the wound. They still have to be healed. We still have to face it because they are still aspects of us. Everybody is an aspect of you. Your soul blueprint chose to be a part of those collective themes because it's actually in your soul blueprint because you're a part of the collective. You have those energies somehow, somewhere. And you're meant to be a part of that transmutation. However you so choose, it's up to you. Whether you're one that is in the ring and actually doing the oppression, or whether you're a victim of it, or whether you're one that wants to be an advocate and a helper and a healer of it, you're still part of the collective. If you choose to ignore it, it won't go away. You'll be faced with another tower moment where your teams will bring it to you. You have to accept your collective. Your collective is you. You can't run away from a sexual abuse. That abuse will continue to manifest in whatever way it must. And those manifestations will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you face it. That's why people are going through profound karma right now. And they're going, I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand this. I don't understand that. Well, a lot of it is the backfire of all the energy that you've been sending out to harm and hurt others, because corruption has been what we've been working in. Every facet of our creational reality is corrupt. And it was very, very easy for people to get away with corruptive programs and schemes and shams and I mean, the infinite number of things that go on. Billions of dollars a year our monies are being filtered in and out due to corruption because the soul is corrupted. The soul has not been returning to self. Everything that we teach will heal every human element on our family, on our human family experience. Everything. The reason why corruption is there, the reason why violence is there, the reason why ill health is there, the reason why disease and all the mental disorders are there is because we have not returned to who we are as spirit, period. When you claim yourself as spirit, as a multiverse experience of light, and you start working with light, and you start calling in the light, you start acknowledging yourself as light, you start accepting yourself as light, and everything you breathe in is light. And you manifest with light, and your body becomes light, and you become younger and more youthful, more vibrant. You carry the energy of the Christ. Then nothing is in your way, and nobody can send anything to you that is not going to just bounce right off you and transmute before it even hits you, because you carry that vibration of knowingness. You're a multidimensional being. You've always been multidimensional. You're constantly sending information and you're constantly receiving it. The more higher in consciousness you are, you then have to work with your bodies in a different way and your fields in a different way, because you don't want to hear 1,000 voices all at once bombarding you. That's always been there, but now you're just heightened because you've cleared away the density. I said to my team, I said, oh my gosh, my teams, I got like close some of this down because there's so many voices in my head. I was going to the coffee shop and I was hearing conversations that their higher selves were having with them. So you got to know how to work with your bodies as you're accelerating, as those densities are being plucked and pulled. There are so many people right now, and this is about the rewriting that we'll do, perhaps a separate video on the rewrite of medical, psychological, psychiatric counseling. We're going to have a whole different segment on that because it is the psyche. That's all it is. And how people experience the psyche is based on their unique soul blueprint. It's going to be completely rewritten. So I'm probably going to do some journals about that. Probably do some separate classes. It's like expensive. Again, soul blueprints, we can go off in an infinite number of tangents about the soul blueprint because everybody's different. I'm tapping into information. When you guys come online, whoever is now in Future Now Moments, whoever comes into the soul blueprint experiences, I'm going to channel and I'm going to bring in and I'm going to speak and I'm going to offer whatever is in the field of those that tune in, tap in. Plus anything that I've learned from all my past lifetimes, from all my multiverse lifetimes, and I'm bringing it as fastly as I can in the words that I have, but know as I'm a Christ conduit, they're offered multidimensionally anyway. So you just know that. And so a little bit about the soul blueprints and why karma is we want you to get excited about karma. Karma is good and karma is a negative, challenging experience, if you say. Again, remember that infinity is always, what have you been working on? Who are you now? And what are you going to create? That's the infinity symbol, and everybody operates in the infinity symbol through a now experience of time. Past timelines are all now. They're all now. And if you're working with your ascension path, which is what I teach you in my private sessions, I teach you how to connect more intimately with who you are as a soul. That's what our sessions do. Our sessions help you understand who you are as a healer, help you understand who you are as a communicator of multidimensional psychic information, because we're preparing you for first contact. We're preparing for first landings. You do work with galactic councils. You do work with celestial councils. You are a part of the cosmic plan. Make no mistake about it. Who said you weren't? And why play small? It's time to level up. So giddy up. Let's go. Now, this, my dear friends, this is now. This is now. This is just an example, just to give you an idea. These little pocket points here, this is you right now, all through time. 1700, 1500, 1800, 1900, doesn't matter. Up is time, okay? If we say time is imploding on itself, it doesn't matter. We're just saying, if you had a timeline here in the 1500s, this little pocket experience right here, that maybe you were killed by a horse. Maybe somebody stabbed you with an arrow in a fight with the natives. Maybe you were the oppressor here, and this is a soul density, we call it these packets of information that sit on your multidimensional experiences. They can sit on your experiences in two ways. They can be an imprint, right? They can be an imprint, or it can be vibrational. They're kind of one and the same. Sometimes they're different depending on your teams and guides. I'll go into that in a separate segment because that's a whole different project. That's a second level, and that's more for the ones that have been working with Ascension for a while. We'll talk about overlays. We'll talk about the expansiveness of overlays in the mastery level, in the vibrational teaching level, in the creators level, because you have damage. Those are the imprints on your soul. That's why we say when a child gets raped on the planet, that becomes a packet of negative energy that sits in their soul multidimensionally. It allows it to be created with an emotional scar wound, a physical scar wound. It sits in the tissues. It sits in the vibrational fields. You have vibrational fields. You have a causal field. You have a psychic field of communication with the psychic realms. You have an emotional field. You have a physical field. You have energetic fields that run in and around and through your bodies multidimensionally. Anytime that there is a wound, whether it's a rape, whether it's a beating, whether it's negative projections, it doesn't matter. These sit in your field and they don't go anywhere. And they also sit in your body because your body is a matter tissue of spirit. Everything sits there until you clear it. You're the commander. You have to clear it. You chose it. It's a part of your soul's timeline. You have to clear it. You can't dump this on somebody. You can't switch it on somebody. This is your soul, and you sit with God with it. That's your coach. It's your special story. You chose it. You get to clear it. You're the master of it. So celebrate every one of these. The more that you allow people to hurt you, the more that you allow people to rape you, the more that you allow people to take your voice, take your feelings, when you speak out in ill will, when you have lies, and all of these things that you do, they create imprints on your now experience all through time. Your 1500 version of you is being affected by the now version of you. It's all now. So if you have a cycle of time, and let's just say, we'll say for now, for an easy thing, for the 6th of every month, if you say the 6th of every month something happens to you, it's because this wound is still sitting there not healed. And you'll know that every 6th of the month you're manifesting a trigger. So if you start being intimate with your ascension path, and you start actually journaling stuff, this is what my first book was about. When you start becoming intimate and calling in, who are you in creation? Creation will show you, well, these are all your experiences. These are all your experiences. And you'll see that in your ascension cycle, Joanna, there's a couple of wounds that just keep hitting. And they're going to keep manifesting until you actually face it and clear it. And because we're getting so accelerated on our timeline, everybody's on a different timeline. Not everybody's going to experience the same timeline. Again, it depends on your level of consciousness and how much you're doing in your own daily personal work. Are you working with light? Or are you staying in sick, dense, gossipy, negative? You're not owning your truth. You're not owning your value. You're not owning yourself. You're in complete victim mode because you're not being accountable for your choices. Be accountable for your choice because you're a soul. You've been here a jillion other times, and you're going to be here a jillion more times. You have densities on your psyche experience because you're meant to pull it out and say, let's look at this. Why do I keep manifesting douchebags in my relationship? Rip it apart on every level multidimensionally. And you're going to start clearing away the energies that your lineage and your mother and your mother's mother and your mother's mother couldn't do because they gave that staff to you. And your all experience runs in a cycle. So if you start tracking it, and we say this lightly, we don't want you to get all ego about it. We want you to release the ego. We want you to release time. We want you to know that you're an all version. The more that you love yourself now, you're going to start loving all of the versions of you and sending light to all aspects of you. If you want to start feeling how all you are, start sitting in a meditation a few times a day and send every aspect of you love and light. All of my soul fragments everywhere, on every timeline, in every body, I send every one of my aspects of me, I send them light. Because as I spiral in this now timeline, I know that at some point I'm going to come into a karmic experience. And we say that as a negative because most people have not healed their 51% of karma between 3 and 5D. Most people haven't. I have, and this is why I'm teaching what I'm teaching and why I have taught what I've taught. Because I understand multidimensional alchemy. Jesus was an alchemist. He was balanced in his divine feminine masculine energies. And he was crucified because of discrimination. Because he spoke of higher vibrational heavenly things that are in all life and all beings. God is of all beings. God is of all majesty. God is of the miraculousness of all things. And there are those that come with very staunch beliefs, very negative beliefs that they chose in their soul blueprint to create somewhat of a darker catalyst because they wanted to be an example of others to know that there can also be other options. And they came as a juxtaposition of anybody that's in their soul family because you always need those dark catalysts. And they came with it in their soul blueprint. And again, that'll be another class for the advanced ones that want to talk about advanced overlays, your oversoul family, your oversoul of oversoul, and why you choose the harder, difficult, more challenging path is because you're meant to be a teacher and a healer. You're meant to be a leader. You can't be a leader if you don't know anything about consciousness. And that's why, again, our social world out there is going to change because our inner world is changing. We're commanding more of ourselves. We're commanding more leadership of who we are as our own leadership. No, I'm going to work with light. I am my own commander. Anything that shows up as a piece of karma, I'm going to offer that. And I'm going to say, wow, God, if I'm going to clear this piece of really negative karma and I'm not going to speak lies for the rest of the week, God knows, well, you've just absolutely added to a positive experience of karma for yourself because you're facing it. No, I don't need to lie about this anymore. No. There is a lot of people that have been sexually damaged and they have sexual wounds and sexual traumas because they were also abused in their homes and nobody was talking to them. They have repressed traumas that they haven't dealt with, religious traumas they haven't dealt with. And it thus then creates a lot of confusion sexually for them. And so there are a lot of sexual confusions, LGBTQT, LMNOP experiences and all of those genres. They will find themselves as they go through ascension, everybody will start aligning to androgyny. But you're going through this emotional back and forth experience of, who am I today? What am I going through today? That's okay. So be okay with your exploration. Don't judge yourself. And we should really get rid of all acronyms. Everybody is just all. The less we define of ourselves, the more free we are to accept all things. We don't have to define anything. You're going to feel in front of you, how does this feel for me? How does my multidimensional bodies, because you're a multidimensional being, you receive information, you express information, and you also get information. You're a multidimensional expression and creation. You radiate information and you call in information. Whatever you radiate within yourself, whether it's a trauma, whether it's a confusion, whatever it might be. That's why going within and doing your work is important every day. When you know thyself, you're going to be very certain about what you're attracting. If you don't know yourself and you're going about the lies you've told yourself or the lies you've been telling others, or others have been showing you or projecting to you that you're a certain thing, but you're really not, again, letting go of what other people think about you. No, I know my truth. God and I work with me. God and I write my story. So returning within and claiming yourself as whole, you don't need those other things outside of you to define who you are, to reward who you are, to do anything about who you are. You're designing it right from scratch. No, this is who I am. My soul blueprint is fucking profound. And anytime you come across a now trigger or a now density or a now packet of information that's showing you there's something there, take that and put it on the table and sort it out. Sort out your shit. Because that shit is going to be that gold that you're going to say, wow, God, thank you so much. I'm so glad I worked through that shit. Oh my God, I'm so glad I worked through that. It's going to be 3 days of crying, so don't go out partying. Show yourself you love yourself. Close off your phone. Don't take any calls and heal. Face it. Those sexual traumas are brutal. Physical traumas are brutal. You'll remember timelines. And those of you, because I said this in my last video and it's true, because some of you that listen don't understand some of the things you've manifested for yourself are because you're highly sensitive people, and the people that you have been around, the people that you allow yourself to be around, the negativity that you allow yourself to be around, you've chosen a darker path, and that affects your multidimensional fields. And it can throw your mental realm, your mental field, your brain, it can throw you off to very reckless and dangerous experiences. I'm telling you in this experience because there's those of you that watch. And those of you that have come to me for sessions, you now know that you're sensitive. You now know how to work with the information you're being given. You now know how to work more or less with downloads. The more you work with me, the more you can encapsulate that and embrace that. There are some of you that watch me that haven't come to personal sessions because of your own fears, because of your own judgments, and because of your own separations. And it doesn't matter. I'm giving you this information as free pro bono. You are sensitive beings, and the negativity that you allow yourself to be immersed with, whether it's pornography, whether it's negative cults, whether it's negative people, whether it's negative family, whether it's a negative work environment, whether it's a political environment that's very negative and judgmental and scamming the collective out of their free will and their choice, whether it's the vaccine community or not, anything that allows you to not know that you are God within and you can do whatever you want with your body, healing, vibrationally, light, intelligence, wisdoms, and otherwise. You are a divine being of light, and many of you are very sensitive. Many of you are very empathic, and if you're around dark people, you will be a dark empath, which means that you're going to be taking on the energies, the entities, and the warped mental experiences that others around you carry. If a person that you hang around is a bipolar, non-diagnosed, not working within their light, not working within their power, doesn't care about their body, you are taking on those psychic energies and the mess in their field. And if you're not grounding who you are, and if you're not working with your fields and clearing your fields and clearing your body, if you're not working with your guides and if you have abandoned your guides' heating, you will be a multidimensional mess. And you will call in karma left, right, and center. You will experience blocks left, right, and center. So I'm telling you right now, there are 3 people that are watching right now that are empaths. Your fields need to be cleared daily. You need to get, if you so choose, it's always free will. Ground yourself daily throughout the day, depending on who you are around. If you're around dark and negative people, if you're around people that don't care about their bodies, that sell their bodies, sell their life force, that bring gossip and harm to others, scheming and scamming and all of those things, again, Right use of free will and non-interference. Those are the first two laws in the law of balance. If you are around people that have absolutely no care about the first two laws, your fields will call in every energetic mess they have in their fields, and you will feel it. And you will think and you will mistake it as yours. Sometimes it might be because if you're hanging around them, you have those similar energies in your field. You have those similar wounds. So you have to ask yourself, why? Why would I allow that to be my environment? No, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to let them do their work while I'm going to cut those cords and I'm going to do my work. No, I want to be around people that don't gossip. I'm going to be around people that don't talk about other people. I'm going to be around people that actually want to level up. I want to be around people that don't hate people. I want to be around people that don't do hate crimes. So you have to call in those energies and face it. Put it on the table. Why did I call that in? Why do I think that I'm not good enough? Why do I think that I need to deceive? Even in the littlest way, because I've been in infinite number of work environments, whether it be office, banking, spiritual, it doesn't matter what environment. The spiritual community in and of itself likes to think of itself as the most positive and aligned experience. Every single person on this planet has a shadow. Every single person. Every politician on this planet right now, 99% of them within the elites, the ones that have, are men, and they are the leaders, and they are the most imbalanced and the most wounded. Everybody has a shadow. Everybody. It doesn't matter what vibrational cycle you're going to go on, you're going to call in that aspect of you that needs to be integrated. And as you get higher in your vibration, as you get higher in your dimension, they're going to be less and less darker, if you will. Everybody has a shadow. There's nobody here that doesn't not have a shadow. Everybody until they get up to a 100% source experience. 12th dimensional beings are still working through their aspects of source. There's infinite vibrational dimensions of source. And so those that claim that they don't have a shadow and those that claim that there's nothing to do and they're fully self-actualized, they wouldn't be here in a physical body typing the words on the screen. You would actually be in light and you would actually be fully integrated with source, but you're not. You have aspects of all that you are to be integrated on all that you are. Everybody does. So celebrate it. Celebrate those aspects that you want to get involved and say, how can I be a part of this co-creation? If it's on the other side of the world and there's a war happening, what inside of you is being inspired as source? Your source. Everything that inspires before you is source. Source showing you that that is source. How can we take this and really think of ourselves as one in it? Those, again, as those spiral of now experience, and because of that part of the world is carrying a lot of trauma, the land carries trauma. Gaia is a physical body of carbon experience. That imprint of her time, remember, that imprint of her time is still sitting there from the crucifixion of Jesus. There's a lot of trauma there. So those experiences are going to come around, but what does that need? So as we're doing the infinity, so if there's a lot of trauma there, what do we have to do in the very center? We have to accept and allow it and know it all as source, the 3 A's. The more high vibrational people we have in that area, they will begin to heal those lands and those traumas because we're now feeding that alchemized energy to say, no, we're going to do something different now. There's no more wars about religion because there is no religion in 5D. We're all one. We all choose to be on a loving experience of blessings of who we are. Everybody that is on a spiritual journey, if they so choose, if they just choose to walk in whatever level of awareness they have, whatever level of intelligence that they have, that's fine. Awakening and ascension is about your self-actualization. You're returning to God. And you're returning to God as a special gift this lifetime, which is very few lifetimes that we've had this experience, if you will, to return to God while you're still in a body. And that's why we have the 51% of karma. Every single person on this planet, 51% from a 3D experience to a 5D. When you get to that 5D transition, that 3-day of being in the womb, if you will, that 3-day of darkness, that is our hearts being sewn together as one in the womb of our galaxy, the daughter of the galaxy, which Gaia is. And the daughter of the galaxy will be sewn back to her galactic brethren. 6th dimensional Plutonians will be there with us, helping us harmonize. All of those experiences are helping us harmonize into preparing for ourselves to be fully unified at the heart space. And there will be those in that 3-day process that will just be consciously transferred into an experience so they can continue their denser explorations. They will be on an earth of their own consciousness. You're going to disassociate yourself with those energies because they couldn't do the clearing possible to go on that experience. They'll might meet up with you in a different way. That's why we're all one. Everything is one. Again, depending on your soul's consciousness, your ability to interpret, process information, and information from here on out is always light. It always has been. You just see it as matter before you, but it's still light. Still is versions of light. A book is a version of light. It's just a physicalized version of light. Anything that you get through your higher pineal, anything you get for your higher self, that's why all leaders, you know, from here on out, 5D leaders will be connected through the pineal, through their higher self. So that we can get the highest vibrational informations of the heavenly alignment, so we're making the best, highest choices for the greater good. We're not going to make choices that are selfish. We're not going to be up on platforms saying, I don't have a shadow, I'm pure, and I'm awesome, and I'm this and I'm that, and I'm going to lead the people back into war. No. You shouldn't be leading people if you don't even know anything about the dark night of the soul and you're not owning yourself as a multidimensional oneness. We're going to have a lot more divine feminine leaders. We've done the healing, we've done the rebalancing, and we're going to learn through this process. We're not going to get through this process without falling down a couple of times and remaking things anew. So everything before you is within your soul blueprint, and whatever vibration, even if it's a small vibration, even if it's a really smaller vibration, these are the timelines that you exist, top-down experience, all the timelines, all the vibrations, all the bodies, all the forms, all the planets, all the experiences you exist on. And in this now experience, if you track your ascension path work, which is what I teach in my classes, what I teach in my monthly classes, what I teach in my private sessions, I empower, encourage, and inspire you to get intimate with your higher self. Your higher self guides you through everything. Your higher self keeps you safe. Your higher self gives you information if you have a disease or a disorder or an ailment right now, because you're purging a lot of dark energy and abuse. Your body has to process it somehow. So expect little minute packages of time, if you will, where your body is releasing a lot of densities or traumas. The more that you move, you have a very mild to moderate workout experience. You're going to naturally clear those densities, and just a lot of water-rich food. Your body will naturally process, because again, every day that we wake up, we're becoming more and more acclimatized to higher vibrational refinement of light codes. When you're coming in front of people like me, I offer light codes. So then you're getting a double experience, if you will. What I teach in my private sessions, in my health sessions, and in my private vocational alignment sessions is we teach you then how to integrate and activate and engage as an intimate experience as light, so that you're going light begets light, light begets light, light begets light. So you're then magnifying yourself within creation, because remember, whether people know it or not, whether people accept it or not, whether people believe it or not, doesn't matter. Ascension is. It's not just a woke, airy-fairy thing that, oh no, ascension's not a thing. Yeah, it is. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to believe it or not. It's still not going to change anything about universal laws. What you put out is going to come back to you. If you're hanging on to density, you're going to have tower after tower after tower until you face it. Are you going to alchemize it or not? You cannot face it all you want. It's going to be a really rough ride if you're not doing the ascension daily work on your own, because then you're taking commandmentship. Okay, I understand. I get what's going on here. I get the multidimensional experience. I'm going to start incorporating working with light. I want to start talking to my teams. I want to start hearing spirit. I want to start magnifying myself with spirit to creation. I want to manifest in a 5D way, because it's not superficial 3D anymore about getting. No, you're a soulful being. It's about your soul's experience. That's how you know when you do die, when you do pass on, when you do manifest yourself into spirit, it's going to be, yeah, I lived a rich life. I was my fullest expression. I help a lot of people. I did some great shit here. That's how you know you're a fulfilled spirit. It's not about the stuff. That's the cherry on top, absolutely, because you've worked for it. Spirit wants to spoil you too. But you're here as a soul. And from here on out, every day, people are going to be awakening. Wow, was I Pleiadian? What does that mean? Incorporate that. Start using your Pleiadian gifts. Just as I said earlier, a lot of people are sitting as dark empaths, working in dark occults, doing dark magic, and they haven't got themselves aligned yet. Wow, I'm actually have a lot of gifts here. Maybe I can use them for light and start manifesting some really peace and good health. They're still sitting in their shadow because they don't want to accept accountability. They don't want to accept that they've been really envious and jealous of people, and they've created a lot of trauma and harm. They don't want to face that. They still want to project blame and victimization on everybody, because that's the wounding they haven't accepted. So that's okay too, because it allows those of us that teach about the psyche a lot of great insight. I've transcended it. I've transmuted it. I know alchemy. I faced 100 different demons in 100 different ways. I know dark energy. God takes me there because I'm one of the few that can. Spirit has shown me. I sometimes conversations with my teams. Last week I had a conversation. We have all of these little negotiations. My soul discussions with the karma board. And I always suggest having a discussion with your karma board once a week. I said, why, sometimes again, so what we're going to talk about the soul blueprint on the second part of that is when you have detours, your soul blueprint and detours are very, very necessary, and you want them. Those detours is where you think that nothing's happening, or you get frustrated because things aren't manifesting, and that's when you really feel like there's nothing really going on. That's when the most is going on, because Spirit's taking you on a detour where you actually need that. You need that detour for that extra rich, soulful experience on something that you need to grasp in a slightly different vibrational way. So like for me, for instance, 4 years ago, when I had done most of my karmic clearing, they had given me the opportunity to transition. And I said no, because I wanted to continue what I was doing. Still had a lot to offer Earth. And so I continued down a few more detours, down a few more paths that very few people were going to go. And that's what Spirit said. Joanna, you're the only one that can do this. And so I take that with great responsibility and with great honor. It's not fun, and it's very challenging because you have to release you have to do a lot of introspection, and you spend a lot of time alone. You spend a lot of time in constant conversation with your teams. What is this going to mean for me on this experience? What's this going to mean on that experience? And it will always be free will. Your teams will always say, this is what we want to offer you. What are you up for? Because there's still, they said till, 2038. I think 2038 will be 5D. We'll be mostly 5D vibrationally by then. So between now and then, there's still a lot of things I could do here in a physical 3, 4, 5D body. So my teams we're going to take a lot of detours. We're going to go into a lot of places because they need my information. They need my light. They need my codes. I know how to traverse dark, dense experiences. I know how to traverse really high experiences. I know how to be a multiverse transitional specialist. I know how to go in and out of different stories, and I know how to see through it. So Spirit's going to take me on a lot of detours. Very few people know how to do it. I can come forward with a story about one situation. A 3D, very dense person would say that's not what happened. I'm saying I see 3 or 4 or 5, 6 different dimensions. That's the information I get from that. Because I'm coded with the codes that I'm coded with, I am interfacing. There's a lot of beings that are working with me because I belong to a lot of councils. I help them. I help the multiverse with what I see, with what I know, with what I anchor. I bring higher vibrational information. And if you look up anything to do with the Book of Enoch, it will tell you about the very high complex quantum physics experiences that I'm entangled with. The Lords of Light feed me information from the divine plan of the Holy Mother Father. It comes through the celestials, it comes through the higher vibrational guides. The more I work on my bodies, the more I work on my light. I have guides that change every few years, every 6 months, depending on how much they need a break, how much I've worked on. Because again, everybody has a different pacing and temperament. I can take on a lot. Very few people can take on what I can take on. Not saying that there are, absolutely. But there's few that have done what I have done in a daily basis. What I can tap into, what I can express, what I'm allowed to explore. God will take me there vibrationally because I can go there. And it doesn't have anything to do with ego at all. That's why God chose me. Because I get so excited about the multiverse. I get so excited about humans being profound. I get so excited about, oh my God, we're just starting. Look at this. Because it's passion. That's why I love the band Rush. When you watch the band Rush on any of their videos, they are absolutely 100% in their core purpose. That's me. I'm a conduit. I'm a multiverse conduit, and I love multiverse. And I'll express it in whatever way God wants me to. Words, sounds, experiences, all of that. Because that's who I am. I have a very high threshold for multidimensional exploration that is very, very, very dark. Because I know how to navigate it. I know how to transmute it. I can take a collective of people and transmute that pain. I know how to do that. Spirit gives me a basket of something and I will work through it and I will navigate it. This is how a conduit really is. Imagine yourself sitting at a beautiful chair and you have this big woven, they're showing me what is it called? A wicker? You know what wicker looks like. It's a woven kind of wood plant thingy. And say you're, and this is what it's like to be an empath similar. If you're a dark empath, you're going through a lot of shadow experience because you can transmute it. So don't let the words light and dark fool you, because everybody has it. We're all one. You're given a big wicker basket, and inside this wicker basket, there's nuts and bolts and gadgets and goojits and little things that you have no idea what they are. It doesn't matter what the words are, it doesn't matter. There's a whole bunch, thousands of things in that basket. Spirit puts that basket on your lap, and Spirit says, go for it. That going for it is exactly dimensional navigation. Who are you? What do you exist within? And if you have lemons presented before you, can you make lemonade? And God always knows I will step up and I will get up and I will say, fuck yeah, let's do this, Spirit. Let's do this. I'm here to shake some shit up. Let's break conformity. Let's break old patterns. Let's say humanity, let's liberate. We don't need to be suppressed. We don't need to be diseased. We don't need to be put down. Everybody has equal opportunity to be a millionaire. Everybody has equal opportunity to be absolutely 100% healthy. Everybody has opportunity to connect with Spirit, to be with Spirit, to walk with Spirit, to speak as Spirit. We're blowing the lid off everything that keeps us small, that keeps us giving our power away. And anybody that wants you to give your power away, just move away and say, thank you for the soul lesson. I choose to go this way now. I claim who I am. My chakras are mine. My energy is mine. My life force is mine. I know who I am. I am that I am. That's being godly. When you absolutely know who you are, anything placed before you is because you've radiated, you've created something, God's given you something, God's taking you on a detour. Say, okay, what am I going to do with this now? Divine relationship, one of our most important teachings. And it's only taught through me. And again, anybody that uses my material, anybody that uses my videos, anybody that downloads my videos, and we've all been through that, it's on my community page. It's fraudulent, false prophets, and all of them will be charged in their own unique way. I surrender that to God. God will deliver karma how God needs to. Not going to go there anymore. So that is what a conduit and an empath is. God is placing a basket before you. What are you going to do with it? Can you pull something up and say, what am I going to do with this today? Wow, that was an imprint on sexual abuse. What can I do with this? How can I make this my own? How can I make this my own journey? Let's do a blog post about it and really start accepting our bodies instead of self-hating and self-projecting anger, instead of projecting that dark energy. No, I'm going to take in that energy and I'm going to say, no, I can make this something new. That's how you transmute. You don't transmute by doing spells on somebody. You don't transmute by sending that dark energy to somebody else. That's not transmutation. You're just going to compound more dark energy because that's dark karma. Take it on. You own it. And if you don't want to own it, then you're not ready for your light. Then stay in the dark. That's okay too, because source is all. I'm just giving you the absolute truth of quantum mechanics, dear lighted ones. This is the multiverse. Get used to it. Our vibration from here on out, the light on our planet will accelerate from here on out. Anything you put out is going to come back to you. Do you know who you are? Do you work with who you are? Do you know your ascension path work? Do you know that you're on an ascension path? Do you know that you're a multidimensional expressor and receiver? Do you know that? Do you ground throughout the day? Do you clear your energy field throughout the day? Do you recall your higher self and your light throughout the day? Those of you that are very talented, gifted, and skilled, you're going to have to know that. Or not. It's up to you. If you're around dark, negative people, you've attracted it because you got dark, negative stuff in your field. You got to clear it. Point blank, period. That's quantum mechanics. Do you want to know how to work with your light or not? Yeah, Joanna, I'm all into it. Let's go. That's being a multidimensional commander of who you are. That is leveling up every step, the Jacob's ladder. Bring it, God. I know what to do. I know that you're with me in every step. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, that no matter what I do, I will always be married to you. There will be tough times, there will be great times, but you always got me. God will always love you, unconditionally. You are always supported by your teams if you are abiding by the first two laws. You will have guides that will support you, you will have guides that will help heal you. If you do not abide by the first two laws, whether you're a reader, you call yourself a reader, whether you call yourself a healer, whether you call yourself the moon, by the first two laws, your guides will step back. You won't have protection and you won't have support. Moving into oneness. You're returning back to God. And there are certain universal laws, creational laws. Why? Because you affect everybody in the entire collective. If you do spell work, if you go against the first two laws, not only do you affect you and you're going to get that backfire, but you're affecting the innocent beings that are sitting in the next room. And if you don't know that you affect all, Spirit will keep showing you tower after tower after tower until you get it. You affect everybody. Are you ready to take accountability now and be found? It's up to you. It's all unique, blessed, honorable, because you're still spirit, you're still God. And you're going to get that if you cross over and when you cross over. But you can still be in your body and be the divine being that you are. That's what Ascension is, self-actualization. Are you going to actualize yourself today? Who are you? That's Ascension, nuts and bolts. And everybody has their unique path. Everybody has their unique divine cycle. Everybody. Everybody does. Everybody. You have imprints that are vibrational and physical. Multidimensionally, they sit in your emotional field. If it was emotional trauma that you have not learned how to let go and not stepped over because nobody's taught you, that's fine, that's awesome, that's normal, because most people haven't yet. We can transmute that in high vibrational healing sessions. And you can learn to work with your guides and doing different tips and practices by practicing being higher vibrational. As you ascend in these different vibrational platforms and these different vibrational bandwidth, you're going to learn different techniques to work with your multidimensional bodies, because you're going to be opening those gifts in multidimensional ways. You can't behave in a 3D way when you've got high vibrational gifts. Spirit always, 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 always. Every time you move up the ladder, if you will, on a vibrational cycle, your DNA gets activated. Every activation on a new thread of bandwidth, because you've cleared density. Spirit says, okay, great, here you go. Here's some new light we can work with. That light means that within as without, always within first. That's why when you clear out your densities, you face your traumas, you do the best that you can within the first 2 laws. All you have to worry about are the first 2 laws, the 3 A's, the 3 E's. All of that is a daily experience of you working with you as God. And intending, God, let me work with you today. Let me practice with you today. God, let me practice with my guides. I want to make sure that I am downloading me. I'm not going to download the mess in my field, because other people are always in my field talking to me, chatting to me and telling me what to do and telling me this. Nobody should be telling you what to do that's not a higher vibrational being that's going to allow you to reclaim all that power and light. If you have people telling you what to do to another person, they have absolutely no care about the karma that you're going to receive. They don't. Nobody has the right to tell you what to do about another person. Unless you know that they're bringing harm, you need to refer them to a specialist. You need to make sure that your safety is there, as well as anybody else in the environment. But if you have somebody that you're going to for advice, readers should not be giving out advice on anybody outside of you. And if they are, they're not a high vibrational reader. And they're going to be getting messages from here on out, because the teams have shown me. Any reader that still continues to do such and give information on other people, the messages will be scrambled. Because they know the intention of those that continue, because these messages have been in a collective for long enough now. If you're going for information on anybody else, the messages will be scrambled and false. Because it's not about anybody else, it's about you. The path ascension is you. It's not about anybody else. It's not about anybody else. So make those higher vibrational discernments. Those are my standards now. As a reader, as a healer, as a teacher. No, we're not going to talk about anybody else. This is about you. What are the collective experiences now? As a conduit, this is what I talk about, the collective experiences. The collective densities that are epidemiology in the fields and the bodies right now. That's what I do. I get in there. God gives me a basket and I pull it out. This is what we're going to talk about today. Can we see it from a higher perspective? What you do with it is up to you. You're a free will being. And your teams and your guides are going to guide you based on your soul blueprint, based on what you're here to do. What are your gifts? Your teams know exactly when to give you an activation, when you're ready for it. Your teams aren't going to give you a higher vibrational. That's why those people that have taken my business and said they're a conduit and said they're this and said they're that, they have no idea how to process and integrate what I can integrate. They can't be me for a day if they tried. That has nothing to do with ego. I know vibrational information. God gives me one little packet of information, I'll go on 100 different arenas. That's pure, pure, pure alignment. That's what God gave me. I own that. I claim that. That's who I am. That's my fingerprint. So do you. You have your unique fingerprints. You have your unique blueprint. Start working with it. Start working with your unique blueprint. Stop focusing on everybody outside of you. Focus on you. If you're going throughout your day with your vibrational focus going everywhere outside of you, call back your energy. Because you've been in the habit of focusing outwards. Everybody has, because everybody's been 3D. It's been a superficial focus, giving your power away, giving your energy away. That's why everything's changing right now. That's why the matrix is breaking, because we're reclaiming that energy. No, I'm not going to give it to the matrix. I'm coming back to me. I'm going to heal me today. When you start doing that, you start showing source. Wow, I got all this energy. What am I going to do with all this energy I recalled? 50% of my life is not going outside of me. I'm not going to pretend I know what's going on with other people's. I don't give a crap what's going on in other people's lives. No, I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to tune into spirit. What do you want me to talk about, spirit? Here we go. That's pure alignment. So be very discerning about what you're buying into, what you're selling into, what you're giving your energy away to, and where you're focusing your intention, directing your intention, and allowing your attention to be that. That's how you create your reality. Direction, intention, and focus. That's how you create. So are you creating and directing your energy in a positive or negative way? Are you claiming who you are and trying to heal yourself? That's showing spirit. No, I'm going to take every lemon you put before me. I'll make something out of it. Everything I touch turns to gold. Why? Because I choose it. I know that in the very center, in the very crucible of anything before me, I got that, God. Let me get in there. I'm not like that little spark and that little energy of light, and I'll get in there and I'll break that up. I can focus on an intention for 1 hour, and I can put that light right in the center of something that's so dark, and I can break that up. And the next day I'll see a thing about it in the collective. That's just been healed. This person has been brought to justice. That person has been brought to their own judgment. That's what I do as a light worker. I know what I'm doing with light. I know what I'm doing with darkness. I own that. I get to whatever God blesses me with, I've earned it. Nobody has faced the devil more times than me. That's why anybody, stand before me, I will show you a story. Because you're vibrating it. You're vibrating the story that I'm reading. Take your truth. Call your truth. Speak in truth. Speak in absolute. No need to lie. Give yourself that challenge this week. This week, there will not be one lie that escapes my being. I know who I am. I'm feeling happy about myself today. No, I don't want to go out for lunch with you. I just don't feel like it today. No matter how they feel about it. They can get over it. How they feel is not your responsibility. It's how they feel. That's their responsibility. Start putting the energy back to where it's coming from. If they're disappointed, if they're upset about your new path, let them be. That's their stuff to work on. It's not your responsibility. Start claiming who you are as a divine being of dynamic, multidimensional light. Start owning who you are as a divine soul. Start claiming who you are as a divine soul. And those of you that are very empathic, that are very sensitive, that are starting to hear voices, that are feeling imbalanced, that are feeling blocked, start clearing your fields. Start taking responsibility for the gifts that you already have. You're a sensitive. Clear your fields. Start working with your teams. Get intimate with your teams. Get intimate with your guides. And if spirit says move on something, then move on it. Again, no more sitting on the fence. If you're not working with the first 2 laws, then you're absolutely going to allow yourself to create more negative karma. So don't complain about it. God will absolutely bless everybody that is working within the first 2 laws because you care about oneness and unity. You're not going to go blatantly do something that's going to harm somebody. No, I speak truth. And those people that don't like that truth because they know that every day they don't want to claim themselves. They don't want to claim their wounding. They don't want to work on themselves. They know that I am piercing light through that darkness. And they get triggered and they leave. So be it. I'm your walking karma. Giddy up. Let's go. It's a big girl's world here now. And from here on out is how it's going to be. We're not going back to 3D corruption. We're not going back to 3D wars. We see what we see. We claim it. We work on it. We call it in. We transmute it. That's being a master. Everybody has opportunity to alchemize what they see in their day. Everybody has opportunity to say, wow, that war made me feel this way. I'm going to alchemize this. I want to know what it feels like to alchemize my own injury. I want to know what it feels to alchemize my own separation. And have your ability to cry for humanity. I can't tell you how many times I've cried for the crucifixion of Jesus. I still cry about the crucifixion of Jesus. Why? I'm a conduit of the Holy Christ. His crucifixion was my crucifixion. I feel the discrimination. I've been discriminated against horribly. I process and I transmute for every human on this planet the crucifixion of Jesus. The misunderstandings and the misguidances of his life and how people have twisted and warped it into their own personal selfish gain. And that's okay. They're paths we were meant to go down. Nuts and bolts of the Jesus story was that we are divine beings of sacred light and life. We are eternal. And his death was discrimination. because he spoke of a God that not few understood. God is all. God is magical. God is mystical. God is all things and all accepting. He didn't speak of the God that was from the Bible. He spoke of the God that was in all heavens, of heavenly things. That's why he walked the planet. He didn't need a church. He didn't need definitions. He didn't need confining rules and confining bodies of elitism that told him how to speak of God. No, he's going to speak of God of what he knows, because he knows God. And God will break through every conformity that says you're small, limited, or you got to pay somebody to get something. No, God is everything. God is magical. God is that soft little whisper at night when you are crying through that dark night of the soul and nobody is there. God is there. God is the only one that will bring you through the tormenting and the spells and the voodoos that others think they have entitlement on you, and God will pull you through and rebuild you. And why I am here today is absolutely 100% unequivocally because of God. God loves me, and God knows that I am pure to my truth. I know who I am, and I speak truth. And I will not waver. And I will not surrender to old stories of what God used to be and what God was. Those are your stories. You keep them. I'm not hiding behind nothing. I know God. God is all things. God is those stories. God is more. You want to feel yourself come to life? Create new stories for yourself that go beyond everything that was. Every time you get out in the morning, spend an extra half an hour. Get out a journal. What was I yesterday and who can I be today? And do something different. Do something profound. Go beyond. Remember to claim who you are as the divine being of light that you are. Know that you are because you are godly. Know that you are because you're multidimensional. That's in your DNA. And every new day and every new cycle of your ascension, you're going to have different parts of your DNA activated. You're going to have different little pulsations that are in your field get cleared because you chose with intention. No, I'm going to clear this blockage. I'm going to clear this. I'm going to clear this today because I care. I care about all those other aspects of me. I care about all those other aspects of me that are still feeling that pocket of density. Because if you don't clear that density, all the other aspects of you feel that density. Oh, wow, they haven't worked on that density yet. Okay, well, I guess we're still going to be held back in this level of stagnation here. Every other aspect, the pearl threaded, that every other aspect is going to feel pulled back. So it's important that you absolutely clear your density so that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 100 light workers don't have to do that work. You have to do the work. If you continue to suppress it, depress it, you're only going to create more disease and illness for yourself. You are a multidimensional being, and light is meant to flow through you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. You using your life force for the greater good of you. If you start abusing your life force by what we have experienced and talked about in all of our other videos, which has happened in other timelines, the abuse and the misuse of your life force by sexual cult covens, by trying to manifest with your life force. It's okay if you're in a sacred experience. If you're sharing your life force with different entities and energies and doing rituals about it and sacrifices about it, that is the abuse of your life force. That's not the intention of your using your highest and your best. It's a very low vibrational, dense experience. It's still an experience. It will still teach you, because everybody that did those things are now experiencing karma, because it was abuse of the first 2 laws. Again, remember, you're in a multiverse. Whether you want to believe it or not, you are in a multiverse, and those are the multiverse rules. If you don't want to abide by the multiverse rules, you're going to continue to sit in karma, because you cannot continue to interfere with people, create imbalance with people, and not see the effects of it. Right? Just like going to McDonald's and eating 1,000 Big Macs a day. If you go to McDonald's and eat 1,000 Big Macs a day, whether it's never negative thinking, if you want to think of a Big Mac as a negative thought, if you want to do that and eat 1,000 Big Macs a day, you're going to have the results of that. That's the creational reality. Don't complain. You choose it. So choose new. Sit with yourself in the morning, reclaim your light, reclaim your power, your chakras, your fields, your bodies. Know that you are one with God. Call in your teams, call in the highest guidance, and start working and cutting away those entities that are attached to you. Because you're going to have to know how to release entities. You're going to have to know how to heal entity attachment, especially if you've had multiple sex partners and you've not cleared your field. If you've not cared about clearing your body or healing your sexual organs or healing your sexual chakras. We are multidimensional now. Just like brushing your teeth in the morning, clearing your chakras is a thing. Or not. It's up to you. The more imbalanced you want to feel, the more chaotic you want to feel, the more scattered you want to feel, the more non-manifesting you want to feel, the more blockage you want to feel. Those are low vibrational 3D experiences. It is still a helpful experience. Everybody has to go through it. But if you want to feel certain, if you want to feel confident, if you want to feel clear, stop telling lies and get pure with yourself. And being pure with yourself is knowing who you are and claiming it. Because your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might want of you. Your version of you is different than what other people might Ooh, you're going to have to face that big hurdle. And you're going to get to the point where I don't give a fuck what people want. I don't give a fuck about conformity. No, I'm going to be me no matter what, because that's your truth. And God will say, absolutely, there you go. Giddy up, girl. God didn't put you here to be like everybody else. You have a unique imprint. You have a unique code. You have a unique song. So be it. Don't be like everybody else. We break up conformity because we want to make it new and higher. To be higher, you got to behave higher. Care about yourself. Honor yourself. Know that you have ancestors by the hundreds that are with you, waiting to talk with you, waiting to be with you, waiting to co-create with you. Are you open? Can you sit in meditation and call in the highest vibrational guidance and then journal it? And then talk to your guides about it. Start talking with your guides. Start marking down their responses. Start paying attention to the synchronicities you see in nature. Start paying attention to what Spirit's always sending you, because you are. Because again, as we said at the beginning of the show, you're a multidimensional being. You're constantly sending and you're constantly receiving. Every single thing in every moment you are manifesting. Can you wake up to it? Can you be a commander of it now? Can you start working with your body as if you're a vessel in a temple of light and love? Because you are. Do you want to become more youthful? Do you want to become more beautiful? Do you want us having your whole vibrational body speak as the vibration of you? That song of you that only you know? That takes time. And why I said in my post earlier this week, if you're truly ready for ascension, I left a list of those things that you want to question and get yourself ready for. Can you do maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days of fasting once a month? Can you detach from the things that you thought you couldn't detach from? Detachment is so key in self-actualization, in returning to God. Detach from everything that is an addiction. Detach. That's discipline. That's when you're working in the discipline of Spirit. No, Spirit knows that I can do and be anything. Therefore, discipline and focus is very key to be your highest version of you. Focus. Focus on me, that's the reality you create. Intend it, that's the reality you create. Healthy body, that's the reality you create. You're calling it in. There is no other way. No, I am a vibrational being of light. I can speak in front of millions and my vibration carries throughout the multiverse. I know that. I can see it. I know my vibration. And I call that in return. That's what I want to experience, Spirit. That is your knowingness. That is being very clear. I have this conversation with my teams daily. No, I'm very clear about what I want, Spirit. That's what I want. And I'm going to vibrate that knowingness. Show me what to do. That's being high vibrational. You're not forcing it. You're not making it. You're saying, no, I'm very clear. That's what I want to experience. I see it. I feel it. I sense it. I can alchemize it. Show me what I got to do. That's manifesting with source. That's being a co-creator at a very high level. You're not going to lie. Somebody comes, you say, oh, do you want to have this job? We'll pay you this much in this job. No, I don't want that job. It's not me. And somebody like, oh, how can you say no to that? That job is like really good paying and you're going to get a lot of people knowing who you are and you're going to be on like this really big thing. I don't care. That's not who I am. No, thank you. Bye. That's not who I am. And that might be your level of greatness and success, but that's not mine. My success is being soulfully fulfilled. Because I know who I am, I know what I want to experience. But you got to be okay to say those things. You got to be okay to shake the rockers of those that are still stuck in superficiality. That's okay. There's no judgment. But you got to get more and more okay with being truthful. Do you want to eat chocolate all day long? No, I don't want chocolate anymore. It's just not good for me. I get all fuzzy in the head. I don't want chocolate anymore. Every little moment, are you truthful? Every little moment, can you align with who you are? If somebody's abusing you, can you say, stop? No, no more. And if you do it again, I'm going to call the authorities. Can you be that certain that you are worthy of not being abused? If you see another person being abused, if you see another person's work being used without their permissions, if you know of somebody that continually throws spell work at somebody when they've said 8 million times stop, can you be the one that steps forward and say, no, enough? There is no more human abuse on this planet. Those are things in Ascension that you will be tested with because you are the all. You're the all. So if you're not going to call anything on what you see as an abuse, how do you expect anybody to come for you and say, no, let me help you out. I want to raise a hand to you. Let me be there in your dark night of the soul. You can't expect it. You can't expect it when you're watching people be abused and you do nothing. You can't expect anything when you watch people stealing from an innocent person and you do nothing. Or you're actually paid to silence. That, my friends, is deep, dark karma, and it's hitting everybody now. God told everybody 2 years ago, in my specific case. That's only one person in a collective of billions that are being abused on a daily basis. What are you going to do about it because you're part of the all? Because absolutely make no mistake about this, and I take a great pause, take a breath. Every single one of you watching here and out, from here on out, from here on out, from here on out, between now and 2038, each and every one of you will have an experience of your own where you will be tested and you will be called forward. What will you do on the levels of corruption, abuse, trafficking? What will you do? Who are you? Will you stand and speak when something has been abused? And will you say, no, enough is enough? I command higher vibrational leadership. I command higher vibrational systems that serve the all. Every single person on this planet will be healed. Every single person on this planet will have health care. Every single person on this planet will not be abused by false, corrupt, elite leaders that absolutely trick and fool and want to control and herd and do dark things with our collective because they want to get the buy-in, they want to get the money, they want to keep running false programs. And all of their court cases get slowly shoved off and they never get dealt with, and justice is never felt or heard for the innocent. And the haves have more and the haves not have more have-nots. No more. No more. You're part of the collective. You're not separate from anything that goes on. And the more that you think you are, and the more that you want to separate yourself from that and ignore it and shove it under the rug, make no mistake about that. I'm calling you out as your higher selves are talking through me right now. Anybody that thinks that is ignorance is bliss, your soul will absolutely start calling you out, and your soul will absolutely start waking you up in harder, tower-like ways. That's awakening. You're meant to look at it. What can I do about this today? I have a gift. Well, let's share that. Maybe I can donate to a soup kitchen. Maybe I can say, well, I've got lots of stuff in my closet. Let's start culling that out. Let's start simplifying. How can you be a part of collective abundance? Do you pray for everybody to have all? Do you pray for divine order? Can you go on a fast for 5 days out of a month? Can you cleanse your system? Can you detach from what you thought you couldn't detach from? Can you let go of every codependent relationship you've ever had? Can you understand the harm of codependency? Can you understand the harm of not calling in your truth? That's ascension, dear lighted ones. And everybody is being faced with these soulful questions. Because you're meant to be self-governing. You're meant to be self-sovereign. You're not meant to give your power away and have somebody else lead you. No, you lead you. So get up. Get up again, get up again, get up again. We're going to do this. Nobody will be left behind. All things are one. And everybody has gifts. Everybody has talents. Everybody is uniquely dynamic with Source Creator. And we are accelerating at profound levels right now. Between now and the end of the year, there's going to be more and more purging of corruption. Everybody that you see around you, everybody will be affected. Because there's corruption at every level of our social systems. Every level. So see it. See the healing of our collective. See the healing of what's being pulled out and being purged. See the purging of really religiously trauma lands that are being purged and healed, and send light and send peace and send honor. That those people are experiencing something so you didn't have to. Do you see what I'm saying here? Everything is a story of oneness. Those lands need to be healed. Why I cry a lot. I cry on a frequent basis because of the crucifixion of Jesus, because of my own discriminations for my entire life, and because I'm crying for the discrimination that the rest of the collective still has yet to understand. I'm clearing those energies because I'm one with the collective. I'm a conduit. I'm an empath. That's what I do. I transmute energy. As we awaken as a collective, I take whatever is there and I transmute it. And there's days where I just have to close off. I can't do anymore. I'm not going to do anymore. So you have to, again, those that are empaths and those that are teachers and healers, if you choose that to be your vocational direction, you're going to have to get very intimate and work with your teams very specifically and very innately and very directly, and start working with them about how much you can handle and how much you can, work with. Because again, Spirit's going to put a basket of everything in front of you, and it's up to you to say, can I make lemonade out of this? Whatever God's given me, I'm going to make something out of this. So see any karmic thing before you as well. Let's make lemonade. What can you make out of what just went wrong? If you say wrong, or if you say tower, if you say dark moment, if you say block, if you say somebody spazzed at you, how can you make lemonade out of it? Well, it's giving you an opportunity to be around people that don't spazz at you all the time. Right? There's no defeating anybody. It's not about defeating anything. It's about alchemizing and honoring and harmonizing. There's no defeat. So if you're still in a defeatist experience, then you're still in competition and you're not honoring oneness. So look at the words that you're speaking. Look at your beliefs behind those words. Satan is God and God is Satan. It's all one. God is not separate from anything. We are not separate from anything. Satan are words we give energies that choose to play the game of sacrifice and darkness and giving your power away. Still God. It's just an experience you chose to experience at a low vibration of God. There's no dark world and light world. There's experience. That's all there is. Just experience, just now, just you. Are you going to return to the ultimate light of who you are? To be light, you have to alchemize that which you've said dark, or alchemize those experiences. Everything is experience. That's all anything is. Just experience. You might have created that defeatism as a death by giving your power away. By doing something harmful to somebody, you're giving your power away. When you hurt someone, you're giving power away. People hurt people with the illusion that they're taking control. They're actually not. They're giving power away. It takes nothing to destroy something. You actually become a creator and you reclaim your power by creating. That's why creators are creators. The highest vibrational beings are absolutely creators. It's all one. What side of the spectrum are you going to be on? It's still all God. Still God. And any Bible that wants to separate Satan and God, no. They're just beings that act in darkness because there's a lot of people that have fed that darkness. Just like a little molecule that wants to feed off your energy. Look at it quantumly. Go study quantum physics. Go study quantum physics. Right? If you want to understand God, quantum physics, it's all about vibration. If you're going to feed into darkness, it's going to be a dark entity. And dark entities will just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. The whole matrix is just a dark entity of us giving our power away. That's all that is. Once we start claiming our energy back out of that matrix, I'm going to claim that energy. No, I'm not going to give my energy away to vaccines. No, I'm going to reclaim that. No, I'm not going to have any vaccines. My body will be absolutely healthy. I don't need vaccines. Start claiming your power on the earth you want to vibrate in. Start claiming the power of the earth you want to be a timeline in. Start claiming your energy out of the matrix. Claim it. The matrix is not there anymore. It's just an illusion. Nothing there. You're saying it's there because you're waking up every day saying, that's the pattern I'm going to sit in. No, today I'm in a body that is healthy. Today I'm in a body that I'm ageless. Today I'm in a body where there is nothing to do about vaccines. No, I want to be on an earth where there is no need for vaccines. Start defining it. Start focusing on it. Start intending it. Start intending a world where all children have food, where all children are safe, where there is no child that is sold for sex. Where every woman has equal opportunity to every man and every man is healed before they ever step in a leadership position. Hallelujah for that. Let's start going beyond here, dear lighted ones. We are not 3D morsels of barbaric beings anymore. No more blowing people up. No more giving your power away to say, I've got a gun, I'm going to blow someone up. Why would you do that? Claim your power and say, no, I'm going to create a health center where these people that think that that's an answer, I'm going to heal those people. That's why you have the powers that you do. Because violence, crime, corruption, underground rituals, underground sex, underground Kevin, all of those things, whatever you want to call them, it doesn't matter the names you give them. Nothing matters. What matters is what are you going to do with the energy before you and within you? What are you going to do with it? I can do anything with that spirit. I'm going to heal. Everything that I'm teaching will absolutely, absolutely clear away what any beliefs out there that you need a religion to buy into, that you need anything to buy into, that you need vaccines to buy into, that you need this to buy into, that you need to give your money to a brain chip and some corrupt programs that take the essence of God right out of your body. Anything that you want to put before me, I will say you're absolutely a healer and a creator. What are you going to do with it? Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what you call it. It's all God, if you so choose. That is the gift. You have to choose for yourself. Are you God? Not from an ego perspective. Take a deep breath. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for allowing us to be so enveloped in the power of who we are as beings of light. We want to be vibracious in all that we are as beings, in all navigations of all energies, of all dimensions. I'm profound. I'm radiant. I'm profound. I am radiant. Everything before me, everything within me, I am light, I am light, I am light, I am light, and I release all that is density. I release all that is density. I release limiting beliefs. I release limiting perspectives. I let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Archangel Michael, please come forward and cut any cords and any ties that need to be released now, now, now. Physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, and spiritually. Release now, now, now. Start taking commandment of who you are. If you're constantly hearing negative mental chatter, if you're constantly hearing negative thoughts that are saying bad and negative things, there's entity attachments. And if you want to, if you so choose, I've experienced all of this, is why I can say, if you do not take commandmentship of that, that entity will eat you inside and out, and it will destroy everything inner and outer. That entity is looking for any energy that it can get. And that's why those that are in circles that talk a lot of gossip, that create a lot of chaos, that create a lot of targeting, that create hate gangs and all of those things, those are all entity attachments, and they're trying to find anybody they can to recruit to start feeding off of. That's entity attachment. When they are disconnected from spirit within, they're not feeding themselves with their life force, they're not feeding themselves with source energy, and it's no different from those that choose to use drugs as an addiction. They're giving that power away to the addiction. Whatever that addiction is called, there's also entities that are attached to that. There is somebody that is listening right now that has somebody that uses needles. There is an entity attachment with that person that is using needles. Start healing. Everything that I'm talking about can be healed, if you so choose. That is the gift of God. That's how much God loves you. God says you can take whatever experience you want, and you can experience whatever you want. I will still love you. And when you're ready, you can wake up and say, I don't want to put this needle in my arm anymore. I don't want the diseases or the entities or the lack of negative self. I don't want what comes with that needle. Because with that needle, you're giving that power away. That's what that tool is. Anything that is a needle, anything that you do to your body, whether it's a physical manifestation, you want to take your boobs off and put something else on. Anything that you do to your body, guess what? Ask me. You create the imprints. And the next cycle around, in your next life, in your next incarnation, and the people in your soul family are going to help try and clear that. But you still have to choose to clear it for yourself. Because you're one with the all, you're one. Your next lifetime that you come around, if you do not clear these little pockets of density, you will clear them your next lifetime. And they will still be a part of your soul blueprint, your soul theme, your soul story. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually. That's a part of your imprint vibrationally. That's why anybody that tells you any of the stuff that I've been talking about the last couple of years about those human programs, those human testing programs that are trying to buy your energy, they try and deconstruct the sense of self. Everything that we talk about is building the sense of self. It's returning to that sense of Christhood, returning to that sense of godliness. The God is returning to God. That's what I teach. That's what I offer. Reclaiming that power, reclaiming that light, reclaiming your responsibility, reclaiming your accountability. That's what I offer. That's what I teach. And it will heal every ailment on our planet. And that's why what I teach is so profound and so valuable. And it's only taught through me. That was the blessing that God gave me. Because I'm a powerful teacher. I've done this on the Pleiades. I've done this in many dimensions. I've done this on war-torn planets. I know what I'm doing. I come with legions of beings. I know who I am. And when I say that there's somebody listening right now or future now moments, that somebody they know or somebody that they are using a needle. When you give that tool, that permission to be a part of your body's experience, because your body is spirit, you are taking that energy away from you and your body, and you're giving it to that needle, because you're saying that this thing helps me feel better. This thing helps me feel that. This thing helps me fill that void. It doesn't. It's an illusion. You've given your power away. Why? Because you have a trauma within you, you have a trauma within your field, you have a trauma within you that wants to be healed. That tool and that entity is showing you very physically. You want to feel so much better that you're using something outside of you to get what only God can be in. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's a needle, whether it's a joint, whether it's a doobie, it doesn't matter what it is. It's a pill, it doesn't matter. Whether you're selling in sex traffic rings, whether you're the slave, it doesn't matter what. Do you define it? You're giving your power away of who you are as God to say, I need this to feel this way. You don't. You've given all that source essence to something else, to someone else, to a thing. Don't claim it. No, I don't need that drink. I'm loved and I'm whole. I'm going to heal. And then when you say no just enough, because you have to work yourself into the ability to transmute that deeper wound that is connected to that needle. And you will find that there is an Akashic wound there. The person that I'm speaking about, it is in your lineage to heal that wound. It is connected to a childhood trauma, and it's connected to one other timeline. And when you pull that forward and you face it, and you deal with that, and you heal that, you will clear that forever. And nobody after you and nobody around you will ever have to have that experience. You've healed that for the entire collective. That's how powerful you are, dear lighted ones. That's who you are as the Christ, dear lighted ones. That's who you are as God, dear lighted ones. That's who you are when you align with light. The alliance with light is all that you need. We've taught that from our very first day. Go back to the very first video we posted. There's 690 some odd videos on our channel. Go back and look. Go back and read. Go back and sit. Go back and open. Go back and hear. Claim who you are as source. Claim who you are as a multidimensional vibrational being. You are profound. You can heal anything. You are profound. You can kick any addiction. Say it now. I will kick this addiction. I will kick this addiction. I will kick this addiction. And breathe. I care about my body. I care about my spirit. I care about my body. I care about your spirit. Hold yourself pure and sacred. I hold myself pure and sacred. I don't need addictions. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. That addiction is taking the place up of your I amness. So send it on its way. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you so much. You showed me I can work my way through addiction. I've had a ton of addictions. I know how to work through them. It's alchemy. It's you saying, I love myself enough not to do that to myself anymore. I'm not going to throw up anymore. I'm not going to binge and purge. I'm not going to do that anymore. I love myself. I want to know what it feels like to be healthy. I'm going to claim that health now. And ground, 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 ground. I am healthy and I am strong. I can do anything. And rewire your coding. You don't need it. I don't need that drink anymore. Don't need it. I can feel so happy just tapping in with God. God will give that to you. God will say, if you say, okay, God, I'm going to quit drinking, but can you bring me another experience of really happiness? And God will say, try to go within and maybe work on your art. Start journaling. It's always going to be another creative experience, because whatever you take away, you want to fill it with something positive and healing for yourself, positive and loving for yourself, so that you can define who you are now. Don't look to others to define you. You define you. That's reclaiming yourself as powerful. That's reclaiming yourself as godly. And tomorrow and next week and the week after and the year after that, you're going to be expanding into new bandwidths of energy, because you can beat addiction. You can beat negative self-talk. You can beat an illness or a disease. And you can get in touch with your whole multidimensional bodies, and any of those voices that you hear, you're actually talking back and say, yeah, okay, I get you. Thank you for giving me that information. You're connecting with spirit on every level. And you don't have to feel overwhelmed or, lost and scattered about it. No, you just have to work with your fields and know what you're doing and know what you're hearing, so that you're not going to be overwhelmed and not going to put yourself in an addictive experience. Because that's what a lot of empaths and a lot of psychic people do. When they start opening to their multidimensional gifts, you start tuning into everything, and it's very overwhelming. If you have a lot of mess in your field, it's even more overwhelming. And then you turn to food abuse, substance abuse, because you don't know how to operate in your higher functioning bodies and fields. Nobody's taught you. I'm teaching you. So you can have a session if you want to work on something specific. Some of you that have been my clients forever, you've gone through those initial sessions, and you've reclaimed the power of who you are. You're now working as a higher vibrational being, because you know anything that comes before you, you know how to alchemize it. You know how to take it in. You know how to say, okay, I got that. You're not like hesitant or, scared about anything that comes of, no. Okay, what's before me? Okay, what's that triggering? Okay, I got that. I'm right with that. I'm good with that. Thank you, God. You're in marriage with God. It doesn't matter what religion you come from. God is God, God is all things. Your connection with spirit and God is everything. And if you want to beat and navigate anything, know that your partnership with God is everything. You have guides, you have teams, you have ancestors. If, again, as we said earlier, if you choose not to follow the first two laws, and those that have been watching my videos for a long time, you know who you are. If you're working with the first two laws on a daily basis and you're recognizing and acknowledging those two laws and you're working with intention of, yeah, I love my feeling, I would just send light today, and you have your days where you're on and your days where you're off and you have your up and down days, that's normal. But if you're working within the first two laws, you're not doing the negative corruptive things that we've been talking about, you know, the dark forces and all of those kind of things. We're not talking about that. If you're not working within those two laws and you're not heeding the guidance of your guides, you will not be supported, period. Because guides are working on the ascension of oneness. You're still going to have guides, but they're not going to step in and help you or support you or protect you. Because you've absolutely clearly, with abhorrence, refused God and the protection of God and the love of God and the laws of God. You want to be on the oneness ride, those two laws are everything. What you do affects everybody. You can transmute some really dark energy, and you can do so in a very, you know, as honoring way as you can, because some of those traumas are really dark. You got to work through that. But you don't do it in a way of projecting and targeting and doing spell work and stalking and all of those, you know, horrible things that affect everybody. You don't do those outward actions of hate. No, sit at the table and say, why am I feeling so much hate? Sit down, work it out, draw it out, get paper and draw it out. Know that you're a master, know that you can. Don't fly off the handle and hurt somebody. Don't fly off the handle and do spell work. Don't fly off the handle and just fill it with another negative experience. You're just compounding karma because that entity wants to be fed. What is the entity? Get to the bottom of the entity. You fed that entity enough. It's now an entity. It's now attached to you. How do you get rid of that entity? I teach you that. Walk with the devil. Be friends with the devil and say, okay, devil, what are you teaching me today? I'm going to help an entire collective transmute you. What do you got to say to me today? Doesn't matter what you call it. Satan, devil, what doesn't matter. Lucifer, whatever other names you got, your satanic cults, it doesn't matter what you call it. It's just a way to behave. It's a way to behave in density. It's a way to behave in wounding. You got to own that wounding. Everybody on the planet. Doesn't matter what you call yourself. Doesn't matter what religion you come from. Doesn't matter what you want to call it in the moment. Doesn't matter what you call it. The names don't matter. Definitions don't matter. Everything is God. If there is a wound there, you're going to either act from a wounded behavior, a neutral behavior because you want to see all as God, everything is divine relationship, or you're going to act in a loving and positive manner. Say, I can help with that. I can turn anything into lemonade. What do you got? Then you take that energy and that emotion right out of that about being all fearful and giving your power away and freaking out and going under the covers. No, face it. Get to the table. Get the paper out. There's shit going on in your house. Get the paper out, sit at the table, pull everybody in and say, what's going on in the house? There's some energy shit going on here. What's going on? Let's sort it out. No projecting, no blame. Everybody gets to express who they are in that experience. Everybody gets to say, no more deceit. Because if you're being deceitful, you're falling corruption in your house. Foundations are going to fall. Nothing can be built in deceit, ever. It doesn't matter who the person is with a fancy title and bullying and lots of money. No, if that person doing deceitful things, harmful things, manipulative things, they need to be called out. Sit at the table with paper. Sit at the table with a mediator. Because your fields are being affected by it. Your chakras are being affected by that person that refuses to speak truth in your house. I've walked away from people because they refuse to speak truth. They continue to lie. They continue to not be accountable for it. I won't be anywhere in their experience, and nor will they be in mine. Those are my standards. If you cannot be truthful, if you are not transparent, if you're playing games, if you are wishy-washy and don't know who you are, as an intimate, befriending type of person, you won't be in my circle. Period. I've earned that right. I want people that know who they are. I want people that are noble. I want people that are truthful. I want people that can say, I'm going to transform this. I've earned that. I'm not going to be around corruptive, destructive people anymore. They are part of the collective. They are part of the whole. If you're not going to come pure of heart, wanting to change, wanting to heal, because you know that you're a part of the all, and you're going to purposely choose to hurt those around you, don't be in my space, and my ancestors will kick you out. And everybody knows that. Nobody is allowed, not even an ounce. And they try and come in my energy field, my ancestors will send it back. Because God has said, no more harming my daughter. 2 years of warnings. And now it's actually clamping down. No more. I will be repaid everything that was stolen, taken, and withheld. I deserve it. I've earned it over lifetimes, over lifetimes, over lifetimes, over 880 lifetimes. This is who I am as a soul. I've earned it. I've earned every blessing God gives me. So anybody coming in my space, they got to know who they are. You want to do a co-creative collective contract consultant. I'm a creative consultant. I only work for God. I can help you with corporations. I can help you with businesses. I can help you with families. I can help you with schools. I can help with anything because I align with the highest councils of light. That's why I'm here. Thank you, federations. The federations and the councils of light, that's who I work for. We are here to evolve humanity to higher levels of vibrational experience. Because you are, because you will be, because you want to transmute. You want to be one with God. You want to know your higher self. You want to transmute into your Christic life body. You want to absolutely know what your Merkaba is doing for you and you it. You want to know what your skills and gifts are. You want to practice with you being your higher self every day. You want to walk on this planet and make a difference. You want to help those that are going through war because you now see it from a higher perspective. Wow, look what I'm mind blown. And you're going to take a week to process it all. That's those higher code downloads. You got to process. You got to take time to process. You're going to want to be alone. So go back to that list where I wrote about, are you ready to ascend? You're not going to be going out and partying and going to bars. You're going to be sitting at home and you're going to be processing what your teams are giving you because you honor spirit. You're going to want to sit down and you're going to put the journal out and say, holy cow, I just got a huge download from the rock consciousness on Gaia from Peru. Wow, let's put this out. Let's put that in a blog post. Why? Because you're now a multidimensional being and you know that your energy is going to help the collective. It's going into the field as soon as you express it. And somebody a year down the road, 2 years down the road tomorrow is going to tap into that piece of wisdom that they're going to need for their ascension. You've changed creation right that moment. Boom. All throughout creation, the universe has changed now because you choose to be a person of your higher self. Every time you create change for yourself, for the all it is. Say that again. When I create change for myself, I create it for the all it is already. Micro, macro, you are God. When you change now, it is all. So make no mistake how important you are. When you actually heal an addiction, you change it for the all. Take a deep breath. I love myself enough to know what it feels like to be balanced, to be grounded, to be whole. To call all of my soul fragments in, to know that I'm important, I'm valued, and I'm loved, and I'm special, and I'm an honored being within creation, and I help many councils and many beings and many federations. I'm going to assist humanity in lining up new experiences where we can positively and beautifully rewrite divine human laws that align with universal laws, and we can assure that every human and every child and every animal and every piece of nature is respected and honored from here on out. I'm a part of this co-creative experience. I'm a part of this co-creative soul. I'm a magnificent soul, and I'm tapping into gifts and skills from the 6th and the 7th and the 8th and the 9th and the 12th and the 11th, 13th, 14th, 15th. The multiverse is within me now. Feel your chakra spiral. Feel your chakra spiral. Feel your chakra spiral. Feel your chakra spiral. You're a soul of magnificence. And breathe. Open up your chakras. Call in the light, call in the light, call in the light, call in the light, and bathe. Ground. Feel yourself ground, 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 ground. Anaya kete keshe anaya Naya se anaya na kete se anaya laete ke ala laete ke se anaya maya. Big breath. Call in light, call in light, call in light, call in light. Your skin is light. Your cells are light. Your breath is light. Your breath is light. Cleanse, cleanse. All energies do not belong. Release, 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 release all energies, imprints, thought forms, projections that are not of the highest vibration. Give yourself permission to release now. Release now, release now, release now. Big breath, call in light. Realign to your higher self, 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 and ground. Your higher self is loving, your higher self is honoring, your higher self is respectful. Your higher self is honoring to all that is spirit, because spirit is all. Your higher self knows that you are one with every being on the planet. Your higher self would never ever advise you to hurt somebody. Your higher self would never ever allow or advise you to take something from somebody, because your higher self knows that you can manifest anything here and now. Your higher self would never ever advise you to do spell work on somebody. Your higher self would only say, is it the right use of free will and non-interference? Absolutely send that light for the divine order and the greater good. Send all the light you want. Be happy. Send the light, send the light, send the light, send the light, send the light. Crown chakra just got cleared there. That's what a clearing looks like. It's fun, it's loving, it's happy, it's joyful. You're taking commandmentship of what's going on in your field. You say, no, I don't want that. Thank you. It might be a dark imprint that's in your family. It might be a dark imprint that's in your home that just stuck there. Dark energies in the corners of your rooms are showing me. Some of you guys have dark energies that are in the corners of your spaces. So clear out your home on a regular basis, once a week. Once a week, do an intentional clearing on your home in every room. Open up the windows, get some white sage, get some Palo Santo, get some sound, little chimes, bells, triangles, anything that makes a high-pitched sound, tuning forks, and just call in the highest vibrational clearing guides. I like to call in the angels of Sophia, and just clear your house and open up the windows for an hour and just let all stagnant energies be cleansed from your house, from your teams, and all of those energies just break up. You know, especially if you're around very dark, dense people and you come home and you hear those dark, negative thoughts. Thought forms are still energy. Just because you're not speaking it, it's still there. So those are created and they're held in the walls. And usually that's why people do a lot of spring cleaning. Yes, that was light language, sweetie. Your thought projections go into the walls. It goes into the food. So know that we're showing you, you're a multiverse being. You're a multiverse experience. Your experiential body is affecting everything. Your DNA, your cells, your blood, your hair, your skin, everything is being affected by you. And you're affecting everybody else around you. And that's why usually, when there's a lot of, dark energies and people that do dark magic and those types of things, you can see the life forms around their house and in their house start to fall apart. Pipes start to break. Water faucets start to leak out of nowhere. Fridges break. Anything that is showing you in matter form that there's things broken, there's energy that needs to be cleared and cleansed. There's negative thought forms in the house. Houses will just implode. Stairs will break. Plant forms outside the yard will go dead when last summer they were healthy. Everything is the nourishment of God, if you so wish. Everything in matter is spirit. You just forgot. Nobody told you. Now you're going to be taught how to work with it, how to honor it. So part of your life, part of the soul blueprint is very profound. And we wanted to talk and focus today about, honoring yourself as a multi-vibrational being, knowing how to work with energy and light as we're accelerating. Think of everything before you as karma, good or bad. You get to choose from this neutral space. Am I going to start creating this beautiful experience of everything you touch turns to gold? Because you're using the first two laws. Am I excited? Am I going to create? Am I going to help others? Am I going to be helpful to myself? Am I aligning in my truth? Am I aligning with my creativity? All of those things are good karma experiences. Choose from there. When you choose from a place of self-love, self-honor, self-respect, you're not building negative karma. You're clearing negative karma. You're creating goodness for yourself because you care about what you're walking in. You're sitting in negative experience. There's no judgment because everybody has to work through their karma. Everybody has to work through that shadow, dark aspect, whether it's envy aspect. If you're clearing an envy imprint, you got to work through a lot of ways that you feel less than. Why do you judge others as greater than you? That's envy. That you never have enough, that you're never enough. That is narcissism. That's that endless pit that you're not enough. Those are deep wounds of self-rejection because you've never defined yourself as perfect, as whole. So anytime you come up with envy or jealousy or hatred, heal those imprints. You don't have to go to addictions. You don't have to go to abusive relationships. Close them off. Show the universe that you're ready to be self-loving. You're worthy of having healthy relationships. You're worthy of calling anything in your house that is negative, that is not working for you. Call it out. The plan is of the Father. The Father creates the plans of all heavens, of all universes, of all realms, of all dimensions. God knows what happens before anything even occurs. God knows 100 steps ahead before anybody says anything. God knows what's going on. God knows what God's doing. The Divine Mother is the birthing of that. She is the heart. That's why when you're sitting at the table, when you're in a co-creative experience, everybody comes to the table. Everybody's going to be experiencing the balancing of their own divine masculine, divine feminine energies. Who are you in the plan of you with God? Well, you connect with God. What's my plan, God? You've got a divine plan for me. Where is that? Then the divine mother in you said, okay, what do I need to start nourishing myself as the divine mother? Well, I had total emotional, devoid when I was younger. So let's go into that emotional experience. Start being the mother of yourself. Then you start practicing being a sacred child. That's when you manifest 5D. That's when you heal a whole bunch of karma, because you're meant to be the sacred child. Everybody on the planet is. Don't let anybody tell you different. Or if you do, that's still fine. It's your karma, right? It's all neutral. It's all the same. It just depends on what perspective you're going to see it from. What aspect of that dodecahedron are you going to see it from? You want to see it from all angles. There's nobody that's going to get through ascension that won't be in their shadow. You're not here they would be in, you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't be in a physical body. You're in physical body because you want to know how to work and be honoring your alchemy, knowing how to work through alchemy. You're a human being that is spirit. You can heal any disease. You can get yourself from point A to point Z. You're going to manifest things that are a cosmic celestial level. You're preparing yourself to meet cosmic alien galactic federations that love you so unconditionally. Their level of love is like nothing we've experienced on this planet. Unconditional love is so very pure, it'll bring you to your knees. So practice that level of unconditional love. Can you love yourself when you are mad at yourself today? Can you fall to your knees and bow to yourself and pray to yourself? That's unconditional love. I challenge each and every one of you until the next time we put out a video. Anything that you see in your reality this week, start working with your ascension path, start working with your ascension cycle. Your pacing and your temperament to process information, dark and light, higher codes, it doesn't matter what you call it. Whatever your temperament to process information. If you're in a very dense experience, you're not going to be processing energy or anything really quickly. You're just not. You haven't entrained yourself to process at a higher oscillating experience. That's why you come on and people ask, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about, because you're not processing the information and the codes we're offering. That's okay. There is no judgment. Anything before you is your ability to process and integrate whatever is before you. The more accepting you are, the more that you've worked through your 51% of karma, you can sit through anything and say, I got this, and that's, and that, because you're processing things at a very high rate. You're on a higher vibrational scale of experience. That's okay. There's no judgment in any of this. And if you're automatically being triggered in that, there's a lot of competition and self-rejection there, so work on that. Get to that trigger. That's envy and jealousy and not being enough. I'm giving these to you because there's sensing triggers in the field. It doesn't have to be there. We're just saying words. They don't mean anything. Get to your triggers. There's no winning in ascension. There's no winning. There's no better than. There's no greater than. There's no anything. There's no grade. There's no pass or fail. You're going to work through your density one way or another. Next lifetime or this lifetime. You want to create positive karma or negative karma. It's your choice. You're going to create it in this timeline or next timeline. You can't run from it. Face it. You're meant to. You're a master. Fear nothing. Stand up. Get up. You can do this. Fear nothing, dear lighted ones. The devil and God are the same thing. They're just from different perspectives. And we will be on a planet where we're oscillating more and more positive, loving light because our bodies are being transmuted from density to light. Why? They experiment on this planet with separation. Religions were separate. The elites, the haves and the have-nots were separate. It made them feel very powerful. I have more money than you. I have a big title and I have a fancy name on my door. I'm more powerful than you. That was a false sense of entitlement, a false sense of power, because that really didn't mean they were better. Even the person that was sitting in squalor that had nothing, they were still a very rich, spirited person. And why many of you that are going through ascension, as I said in my post, are you ready to go through ascension? Can you actually move through these things without judging yourself or judging others, and without judging God? Your teams will want you to go through a time where you actually have nothing. Do you get triggered? If everything was taken tomorrow, will you get triggered? Yeah, you're going to go through some, you got to alchemize those beliefs that you were taught. To have a successful life, you had to have a $100,000 income with a house on 4th Street right near the water. Those were the things that you were told was important to you. Did that make you spiritually rich? Did that make you aligned with God? Did that make you aligned with the version of who you are that you want to express yourself as? Are you being creatively expressive? Are you being spiritually expressive? Are you speaking the truth of your spirit? Is your throat chakra beautifully aligned to speak loving, positive things to you and all creation? Because you are the voice of creation. You are the voice of your reality. You are the voice of your spirit. You are the one that clears your chakras. You are the one that clears your fields. Do you know that your chakras hold so much information about how you're willing to tap into celestial and cosmic galactic energy in your throat chakra? You bring codes out that have never been here before. I'm telling you, that's a truth, if you so choose. You're just getting to know who you are, dear lighted ones. Your whole life is going to change, and you want it to. It's about time. Instead of going out to party, you're going to sit at home and do some journaling because you want to talk to spirit. You want to feel really great in who you are. You want to know that you can beat any addiction, and your body's getting healthier by the day. You're getting younger by the day. You want to know that when you feel really good and you feel aligned in all that you are as a multidimensional being, you're going to call in a multidimensional being that's going to be equally aligned with you. It's going to honor you and respect you. They're not going to beat you up verbally, mentally, or emotionally. They're not going to blackmail you or enslave you. Because when you're aligned, you're calling that vibration in, and it has to match you. That's the vibrational reality. The universe converges to who you are vibrationally. So if you're sitting in a dark and negative place, sort it out. Sit at a table and sort it out. Draw the infinity. Put a negative on one side, a neutral in the middle as your divine sacred heart, and put a positive on the other. That's your future timeline. Draw it out. When you sacrifice anything, in rituals, satanic work, we're giving this to you as a blanket experience of underground, above ground, above ground. Work it out, because everybody is responsible for healing the underground. Whenever you're acting in an underground experience, your subconscious, your wounding, your fears, your devil energy, your shadow energy, your Satan energy, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter about the name or the definition. You get that by now. It's not about religion. It's not about the words. It's not about the definition. It's about your experience of you. You as God. You as the Satan in that one moment. Doesn't matter. Hate is hate. Love is love. That hate is a wound. Period. Anybody that is acting in a hateful experience usually has entity attachment because they've allowed entities to eat at them. They've allowed the darkness to eat at them. They've given the power to the darkness. They've given the power to those dark energies that feed into dark energy matrix programs. And they have a hate wound there because they were sold hate as a child. They were sold hate in another timeline, and they're just behaving in that way. It's all healable. Not a big deal. Ooh. Now, this is liberation of who we are as multidimensional beings. Now we're over it. Now can we get on with healing? Or are you going to create a few more towers and destruction for yourself? Doesn't matter. Every moment you choose, positive, negative, or neutral, who are you? The more that you know who you are, the more better you choose for yourself. No, I respect my body. No, I'm not going to go out and get drunk. No, I know who I am. I'm not going to abuse my body anymore. I'm not going to put that needle in my arm anymore. I want to feel loved. Because everybody knows that has ever had an addiction. Everybody knows that when they've given their power to something, a substance, a pill, a drink, a tonic, an open-legged sex experience, you absolutely know that that moment that you do it, it doesn't resolve anything. And the very next 20 minutes, half an hour, next morning later, you feel like shit. Because you gave your power away and you let your spirit down. That's why you feel guilty. That's why you feel shameful. And you perpetuate that cycle of addiction. So own it. No, I don't want to feel that way anymore. No, I'm going to love myself. What does love feel like? You haven't been told what love is. You haven't been shown what love is. If you're in addictive experiences, you're dealing with people with addictions and they don't love themselves. So you have to choose for yourself. What environment do I want to be neutrally, rich, honorably with my spirit, with my soul? I want to seek better friends. I want to find better friends. I want to make better choices. I love myself. God, show me through this. Show me how to find people that will help me with my addiction in a very valuable, spirited, honorable way. I want to beat this because I can, because I will. I am that I am. I've had addictions. I know what it feels like to go through every minutia of darkness. Nobody knows the depths of darkness that I've experienced. It's not an us and them. It's not defeatist or not anything like that. They're all just words. They're experiences of what you've allowed yourself to transmute and take care of. God placed me with a basket of lots of stuff and gunk and nuts and bolts and great things that I can learn from. And I make gold out of it because I can, because I know who I am. God says, Joanna, we're going to give this to you. What are you going to do with it? Okay, well, have to ground and you have to center. If you're not centering, you're just going to be creating scattered manifestations. Scattered manifestations is anything that's in your field that is not your claiming you as you. Period. I can tell anybody that comes to me with a scattered field because they're not clearing their fields, they're not caring about their bodies, they're carrying a lot of energy that's not theirs, that they've chosen to take on, that's messy, that's filled with entities, that's filled with little nefarious little energies that want to play with their mind and their brain. Because that's how they get to you in the matrix. They deconstruct that sense of self. They start ripping away at your emotional body. They want to know what your emotional triggers are. They want to know what your emotional stories are. And then they start ripping away at your deconstruction. And they'll get at you in those little subtle, narcissistic little ways. And they deconstruct who you are. Deconstruct, 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 because I want to eat you whole. I know every level of darkness. And I call it. I'm walking karma for a lot of people. If you want to heal, come to my channel. You'll get healed if you so choose. Everybody has free will. And God will place me before anybody that needs to be activated. There's a lot of people that owe me. And there's a lot of people that are placed before me so they can see their power of who they are and to be returned to God if they so choose. Either way, they'll still return to God. They'll just return to God in a resisted space, in a resisted energy, and they're going to come back in another lifetime to go through those lessons again. Make no mistake, you will. The more you resist, you're going to come back and do it again. That's okay. Still your experience, still God, still valuable. But you don't have to. You don't have to resist yourself as love. And anytime you do resist any love, any level of self-care, any level of self-honor that you want to have with yourself, there's a lot of misappropriation. There's a lot of abuse with the sexual life force on this planet, obviously. People know very little about your life force and how it's used and how it's abused. And every single person on this planet will help create higher healing so that you can reclaim your life force. You can understand your sexual body and how it manifests. And when you're doing it in a balanced, high vibrational state, you can manifest anything. If you're with a partner that is equally sacred. If you're with somebody that is not equally sacred, you're going to manifest an entity. I've talked about this before. So if you want the nuts and bolts of sexual life force and sexual energy, then talk about it with somebody that is actually knowledgeable in universal consciousness and universal laws. Don't listen to those types of energies and experiences if you're talking about tantric sex and how to manifest stuff. Because they're from a very low vibrational 3D space and they don't know anything about alchemy. They don't know anything about universal laws. And they're just reading something and they're just performing something. They're just saying something because they have a little excitement about it. No shade. It's where they're at. But absolutely make a bet that if you're going to be practicing those experiences and you're doing it in that type of intention of lack of intelligence, you're going to manifest equal. Remember, the entire multiverse here on out, dear lighted ones, and many of you have said before in comments, and I don't care because this is just truth. I say what I say in pure point blank of universal truths of energy. And sometimes it gets people all ruffled. It's not being polite. Oh my gosh. No, what you put out comes back. If you're making sexual experiences that are not of high intelligence, you're going to manifest that very same intelligence of whatever you've done with your life force. Period. And why a divine feminine that is healed will not be with somebody, will not attract somebody that comes in and says, I want to make you my side piece and my number third person. Can you be my number third wife? Can you be my number third person? You want to be in my little coven of women and wives? No. No, because I know exactly what's going on with my life force. Thank you for the experience, but no. I know what I'm manifesting. I know who I am. There's no shade to it. I'm saying these are truths. You want to play with energy that way. You want to play with your sexual body that way. Anything you do with your body, anything you do you do it with sacredness and respect and love or not? You manifest from every action you do, especially your sexual life force. And why every single one of us on this planet will be a part of healing the underground sex rings. Because we have given absolutely zero respect to our bodies as spirit. Disrespect on every level. The entire pornography industry will just be transmuted into a healing industry. And it will be of value to all of humanity from here on out forevermore. It's a very, very dark mark on our collective soul. A healer can see the dark patches on somebody that has been sexually abused. It has to be transmuted. And what occurs to an underground sex ring? What occurs to a pornography ring? Talk about it, put it on the table and face it. If that is something that you do, if that is something you get off on, if that is something that you get into, that is a part of the collective. How can you transmute that? It is putting the human body that is a vessel of sacred light as a sexual object, as a sexual tool, so that other people can view it as that in disregard and disrespect and degradation. And the life force means absolutely nothing because it's being shared with however many people it's being shared with that night. And absolutely bet that everyone involved is going to have a sexual entity attached to them some way, somehow, whether it's through an STD or a disease or an illness or later down the road, testicle cancer. Make no mistake about it. You've manifested it. That's how we are as energy. We're either going to tune in and click in and be okay with it, and we're going to tune in and be responsible and accountable for it and really start living in a beautiful way. You got to go through the darkness to get to your light. If you can't handle your darkness, you're not going to handle your light because you're profound. Are you ready? Are you tapped in? Are you tuned in? Want to play? Or you can resist it and keep playing in the world of superficiality and nothing matters and everything is all great and we're going to party all the time and we're going to watch porn all the time or we're going to do this, we're going to do all the debaucherous things. Fine. It will be purged one way or another, whether you're facing your own illness, whether you're facing your own disease, whether your children are because you've been non-compliant and don't give a crap about what's really going on in the world. So face things all you want or not face things all you want, you will face it because we are one and they are big issues on our collective soul. We cannot get to the fifth dimension without facing these issues. Do you have sacred honor for your life force? Yes or no? Take a deep breath. My body is sacred, my breath is sacred, my cells are sacred. My breath is sacred, my body is sacred, my cells are sacred. My blood is sacred, my breath is sacred, my body is sacred, my cells are sacred, my body is sacred, I am sacred. When you love yourself from an inside, unconditional manner, you're going to choose better. You're meant to manifest from your life force, but you're meant to manifest it when you're balanced and healed. That's where we went way left. And the sexual abuse and the sexual traumas which are rampant on this planet. And they won't be healed by a pill. And that's really exciting because now we get to really face who we are as sacred beings. It'll be our biggest healing. We're going to trajectory ourselves into a whole new dimension. Our life force is our most sacred experience as divine beings. A healed life force can manifest a disease healing overnight. When you see your life force as golden and loving and caring, you would never let anybody harm you in any way. You would never let anybody disrespect your body. You want to teach these things to your children. Reclaim their power, reclaim your light. Don't let anybody harm you in any way. Your light is important, your light is valuable. Don't let anybody take your light in any way. Reclaim your light, reclaim your consciousness. Your consciousness is your will with God. What is my story today? God, thy will be done. Nobody has precedence over your will. Nobody can manifest you without your agreement. No, you're not manifesting me. I don't want you. I've said no. I am manifesting something new in my life. I manifest who I want to manifest. You don't have say over my chakras. You don't have say over my life. You're not the writer of my life. My light belongs to me. And break yourself out of that enslavement. Whether it's a sexual enslavement, whether it's a food enslavement, whether it's an addiction enslavement, whether it's a low vibrational enslavement about vaccines and your power over your body. See what we're saying here, dear lighted ones? We're giving you the most powerful lessons that you can know who you are as a multiverse being. So claim it. Claim your right to be magnificent. Take a deep breath. I claim my right to be magnificent and ground. And when you're grounding, see white light. Pulling out all the densities, all the densities, all the densities, all the densities, all the projections that were sent to you or impaled at you. Send them out, pull them out, transmute them. I transmute thee to the holy light, send them to God. I transmute anything within and without and around me, Spirit. Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit.
Thank you for the Holy Spirit for working with me in and around me. Thank you for being all that I am as breath. Thank you for being all that I am as the love and the light and the hope of today and tomorrow and always. I am one with Holy Spirit of God. Please allow me to transmute these experiences. I've acknowledged them as a part of my experience, as part of the whole experience of our collective. Take a deep breath. I transmute the darkness, I transmute the darkness. Anything that is in within me that needs to be transmuted, because I treat that as love. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. Feel yourself ground. Feel yourself ground. The cords within your chakras, the cords within your chakras, and ground, ground, ground. Your love, 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 your love. Archangel Michael, please bathe everyone listening now and future now once with the divine. You are loved, 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 you are loved. And rainbow light, and rainbow light. Take a deep breath. Ground, call in the light. And hold the light at your heart, hold the light at your heart, hold the light at your heart, hold the light at your heart. Your chakras are different now than when you started. Your chakras are filled with light. Your chakras are filled with color. Your world is filled with color. Your world is filled with source potential. Every breath you breathe is source. Every breath you breathe is healing. Every breath you breathe is alignment. Every breath you breathe is an affirmation of who you are now. You're different now than when you started. You're divine, you're sacred, you're divine, you're sacred. Call it in. Call it in. I am one with my higher self. Call it in. From now until the end of time, I am aligned with my higher self and my intuition. My intuition is everything to me, and I will not sway. I will not sway from what I am being told and sensed from within. My divine oneness with God, my divine oneness with my higher self. I am that I am, I am that I am. I am all that I am. My intuition is everything. My alignment with God is everything. My alignment with my body is everything. My life force is everything. My life force can regenerate my cells. My life force can give me new life. My life force can give me the alignment of the highest inspiration I need for my business. My life force can help me heal my family. My life force can help me manifest anything and everything. My life force can help me let go of any fear, any intimidation, any controlling experience or dominating experience that's in my life. I change it now, now, now. Take a deep breath. Call in the light. Slow your breath. And when you feel happy and when you smile, you're one with God. And you start to cry. You feel so excited. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for reminding me how to work with my bodies. Thank you, God, for reminding me that I'm so special when I was just carrying on patterns and treatments for when I was younger. When I was told I wasn't important, I wasn't special, or I was beat on, or I was abused. Those don't have to be my stories now. Please help me alchemize those stories of pain, of hate, of separation. Thank you, God, for loving me. 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 Take a deep breath of love. I breathe in love. I breathe in love. I breathe in love. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I radiate love. I radiate love. I radiate love. I radiate love. God loves you. God loves you. God loves you. God is showing me some of you are opening up your arms and you're embracing God just pouring through your body. Change your story. Change your story. God loves you. Offer God into your heart. Say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. You're more than I ever thought. You're more than I was ever told. And I'm going to start rewriting the Bible today. I'm going to make my own Bible, and it's going to be filled with self-love and self-honor, where no child will ever be abused again. Because you're going to come back to a timeline. You're going to be looking after those children in timelines where they're healed. And they can create beautiful things because you've healed those scars. And we're never going to abuse a child. And we're never going to sell a child. And we're never going to sell a life. We're never going to harm animals. We're never going to harm Gaia. And we can live in peace and similitude with all life. And our bodies will be the healthiest they've been ever because we're living off the land in loving and kind and natural ways. And we love our bodies so much that we would never, ever, ever degrade our bodies through sexual debauchery that gives our life force to other things and entities that don't care about us, that don't love us, and that don't honor our sacredness of our co-creation. I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. Hold your solar plexus, if you so wish, and choose an I am affirmational statement. I am the love, Holy Mother, and the Holy Father. I am the sacred child. Take a deep breath. I am the love of the Holy Mother and the Holy Father. I am the sacred child. I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am. And ground, and ground, and ground, and ground. For the rest of your week, your focus is about you. Focus on you. Focus how you feel. Focus how you intend. Focus how you direct your energies. And go to our page of our community and read that list of things you're ready to experience in your own ascension cycle. Are you ready to detach from what you thought you couldn't detach from? Whether it's an addiction, whether it's an experience, whether it's a thought form about yourself. Can you try fasting for 3 days? Just cleansing out the toxins, knowing that you can. All you need is breath and a lot of water. And then allow the purging of the emotions to come up. Because anytime you fast, you're allowing any emotional experience to come with it and to purge it and release it. You're in control of your multidimensional bodies. And if you'd like a health session, I just posted those on our community page. They're 90-minute sessions for $200 US. Private sessions, intuitive sessions, and healing sessions. We go through your current blocks, anything that you're working on to help you be the highest vibrational creative being that you are, to allow you to connect with the soul of who you are and your higher self family of all that you are. Having a lot of crown chakra activations, I can feel it right now. And that's what we usually work on in the private intuitive sessions, which are 90 minutes, $200 US. There are recordings, and it's done face-to-face with me in Zoom or FaceTime. And then vocational sessions, if you have been on the path for a while and you're choosing for a business or for your own business of self, or you're wanting to be a teacher, a healer, a leader, and then I usually suggest the vocational healing sessions because those are for the direction of who you are with spirit and the collective celestial teams, galactic teams, federations that you're here to work with and align with to the highest vibrational light. And that's those two that have want to level up if they have been not aware of the universal laws, if they've not been using universal laws, they don't care to universal laws, but they want to start doing it, and you are a reader or a healer, and you want to start to ensure that you're not going to carry any darker karma or any more, traumatic experience. You don't need to, because again, if you're not following those laws and you're offering guidance to others, you're going to be receiving that karma equally. And you don't have to. It's a harder way to go. You don't have to. You can heal your ego and know that your ego should never be really involved in your readings and your healings anyways. You should be stepping aside, and it should be your higher self. Again, why you align. And if you are going to readers and healers that are doing those things, then you would, if you can, discern it's always your higher self. It's always your free will. Choose healers that are aligned with their higher self. If you're using healers that are just egoic, you're getting the vibration, because everything is vibration. You're not going to get the highest vibrational alignment with the heavens. You're going to get that ego alignment. And that's okay too. It's just an experience. But that's why we offer what we offer, so you can tell the difference. Somebody that's tapped in, tuned in, and turned on, you can feel the vibrational difference. You can feel the vibrational impact. You can feel the vibrational offering. There's a feeling there. There's a sensation there. Things are shifted in your chakras. So if you close out from this video and go have a nap, take a salt bath, look after yourself for the rest of the evening, watch a funny movie, have yourself a good meal, you're going to feel different tomorrow morning because you're going to have processed a lot of density. I helped you process a lot of density today. And I gave you a lot of higher vibrational wisdoms. If you so choose, start working with it in your Ascension Daily Path work. So all of our offerings offer you how to work with yourself as a higher vibrational being. You're not 3D anymore. We want to help transition you. Everybody's along for the ride. Nobody's going to be left behind. This is how we do it. Isn't there a song? This is how we do it. NSYNC, I think. Or Backstreet Boys. I think it was NSYNC.
So yeah, if you want to donate, our links are below. PayPal, right? PayPal. And if you want to contact me for a session, send the money to PayPal first. I use the email that's in the PayPal email. So make sure that you put the email you want me to email you at for the session. Anybody that is of my past that is going to abuse those sessions for information purposes or stalking and spying, you will not be allowed to see me because Spirit will send you away. Spirit will reroute you and I won't take the appointment. And I'll send the money back. If you have pure intent to heal and to move forward in your healing, to release the energies of your shadow and transmute the energies of your shadow and make it light, that's what we do. It's all one. Not a big deal. You can do it. That's why you're here. So just know that, right? And from here on out, it's going to be quickening. So the light is going to be more refined. It's going to be faster. Again, the processing of the higher vibrational wisdoms. That's why you'll have those headaches sometimes, because things are being cleared. So knowing again how to work with your multidimensional bodies will help alleviate that pain. Try not to take aspirins or Tylenols. You don't need to. I haven't taken medicines in, I can't even remember when I took, I can't even remember the last time I took medicine. Because when you're working with multidimensional bodies, you just have your, work with your healing teams, work with your teams to release any headaches. You know just how to work with your body in neutral, herbalistic ways. So you don't need you don't need any additives. You don't need synthetic things because it's messing up and blocking up your crystalline things. You want to focus on crystalline things, light, and everything that is carbon, it's up to you to clear it out and refine. You got to claim that. You got to claim that power or not. Either way, it's either going to be a bumpy ride or you get to be really excited about it. So you get to choose, right? You get to choose. And God's going to love you no matter what, because there is only God. We're so excited! Oh! Okay, so that's it for today. We're going to talk more about soul blueprints. Soul blueprints are amazing. Remember, there's a reason why you're going through what you're going through. Family, lineage, familial, collective. You're meant to heal it. You're meant to own it. You're meant to claim it. You're meant to draw it out. So get at the table, draw it out. Anything that's going on in your house, draw it out. Because either way, it's going to come back and face you. So that's why I suggest once a week, do a clearing of your house. Otherwise, it just keeps compounding and kids start bumping into things. Kids start having accidents in the house. That's when you know there's a lot of negative energy, scattered energy. So pay attention to what's going on in your house, in your home. Pay attention to what's happening. Returning of negative energy, it's very evident. When you've got negative entities attached to you, when you've got block all over the place, it's evident. It's everywhere. Blocked everywhere. Your health will be blocked. It's like a string of... And again, what you put out comes back. So be very discerning about your vibration. Your vibration is everything. Yes, and you're going to be tuning into your vibrational site. You're right. Your vibrational site is different things and different ways that you're activated. So Spirit's going to activate you. You're always activated in divine timing. So just know that. You can manifest the temperament and pacing. That's your job. Your job is temperament and pacing. So to be a higher, you don't want to get you in this ego experience, because there's so many people that are still working in those experiences of lack of self and competition. It's not a race. You're going to be activated at exactly how you need to. You're meant to just love yourself and heal. Your job is to be the perfect case for you, to release those that are not supporting you and loving you in your journey of spirituality and spiritual self-actualization, your return to God, your self-evolution. Evolution is everything. Evolution is what the promises that you made to your children in your soul's blueprint. Your soul's blueprint is your evolution. So if you're not evolving, you're not following through with the promises you made to your children, to your children's children, to all lineages before and after and here too. That's how important evolution is. That's how important breaking every conformed belief is. That's how important it is to release everything of definition. Everything is God, period. In 5D, there is no religions. There's just all God, how we experience it, how we explore it, how we express it, period. Doesn't that feel better? You don't have to be so stuck to how things are defined and people are going to accept you and this and that. No, it's all God. What are you going through today? Well, I'm working more and more on self-love. Okay, good for you. Awesome. You making time for self-care? You making time for journaling? Do you know when those triggers come up? Pay attention to that and go within. Yeah, start working with God. You got all these gifts. You got all these gifts to start manifesting really great things. Start getting out of a 3D job and making a 5D job. That's what I help you with. So tap in, tune in. You got this. Get up every day, get up. Get up excited about who you are. Get up excited that you got, wow, another day to get with God. Wow, God's going to show me something today I didn't see yesterday. God's going to bring you to tears. God's going to bring you to your knees because you need to. You need to get down on your knees and say, holy crap, I didn't appreciate myself. And look what God does everything. God never does anything for punishment or show. God just says the biggest air hug you could ever imagine. That's God. And if God has to bring you to your knees before you absolutely surrender to who the fuck you are, that's what God will offer. If it's a near-death experience in a car accident, that's what God and your team will offer. Because God will say, I will bring you to that moment where it doesn't matter anything else that has happened heretofore, past, present, or future. Whatever you thought was important, it isn't. You are important. Your self-value is important. How you treat your body because it's God is important. How you treat your mind because your mind is going to be future generations is important. You are the micro macro, the cell of the codon of the micro macro that is God of the multiverse. Do you get that? What you think now matters to future generations. Do you get that? Do you get that what you think right now affects the cells, affects the embryos, affects the seeds, affects the skin, it affects your hair, it affects everything? Do you get that? Do you get that God just wants you to be sit and silent and just soften, 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 and breathe. And for you to say 10 times, I love myself, 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 I love myself. Visualize each one of your chakras and affirm, I love you. I love my chakras for what they do for me. I love my breath for what my breath renews in me. I love my eyes for what I see in me. I love my voice for how I sing in me. I love, there's so many ways that I can love. Ah, I can love, I can love, I can love, I can love. Ah. Because you can, because you can, because you can, because you can. How many thoughts today were about love? How many thoughts? How many breaths? How many scenes did you see of love? How many times did you hold your heart? That's ascension. You change. You become a soul. And your ancestors and your teams and your guides in the 9th dimensional Pleiadians and the 10th dimensional Octarians are saying, oh, she's holding her heart. Love ripples out throughout all creation because you chose to hold your heart. When someone's angry at you, breathe. If someone's angry, breathe. And ground, and ground. I choose love, I choose love, I choose love, I choose love. And you alchemize every negative thought form. As someone's yelling, as someone's screaming, if someone's uptight in the grocery store, you just breathe and ground love. 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 You change creation. You're a vessel of God. Now do you know how special you are? If nobody has ever told you you are a child of God, if you're experiencing dark things, it's because God's giving you an opportunity. These things might not be mine, and I've chosen to take them on, and I take accountability for it. Can you help me, Spirit? Can you help me release these dark things so that I can see light, and I can be light, and I can feel it? These very dark things help me be a very light person as equal, because you are always equal measure. I know the laws of the universe, and I honor the laws of the universe because they help me be a beautiful and divine navigational being of light. And I know that I'll be supported, and I'll always, 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 always be protected. Take a deep breath. Do you feel the love? Do you feel the love of all the beings that love you?
Pleiadians, Sirians, Andromedans, all the light ships in the sky. Do you feel the stars shining love to you? You are so loved, you are supported, you have guides everywhere. You have nature everywhere. That's God. It's beyond a book. It's breath. It's so very sacred. You're so very sacred. You're so very sacred. Take a deep breath. I am sacred, I am sacred, I am sacred, I am sacred, I am youthful, I am sacred. I release all pains, I release all wounds, I am sacred. I release all pains, I release all wounds, I am sacred. I release all pain, I release all wounds, I am sacred. I value myself, I am worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy. I am worthy of your love, God, I'm worthy of your love, I am worthy. Go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. Go deeper, you're just about there. You're clearing something very deep. Take a deep breath. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. I am worthy of this clearing, Holy Spirit. Please take this wound from my heart. Please take this wound from my heart, Holy Spirit. I choose to feel love, I choose to feel love, I choose to feel love. I choose to heal, I choose to heal, I choose to heal. My purity of heart is pure, pure, pure. Take a deep breath. I intend to love myself, I intend to love myself, I intend to heal. I intend to love myself, I intend to heal. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And if you are crying right now and your heart feels open and tight, you're releasing deep traumas where people thought you were nothing and you believed it. I forgive myself for believing I was nothing. I forgive myself for believing that I wasn't important, that my voice didn't matter, but it matters. I forgive myself for feeling less than because someone was projecting their less than, and I just took it on. I didn't know, Spirit, I didn't know. I treated my body like it was a piece of item. And I sold my body, and I sold my spirit, and I sold my soul. I get to reclaim it now. I get to reclaim it now. My body is so special. My body is filled with God. My body is filled with God. I release the traumas of abuse because my body is so very special. Nobody had the right to touch it. Nobody had the right to harm it. Nobody had the right to take my light. My light is my light. Call back your light now. Call back your light now. Call back my light. Call back my light. Call back my light. Call back. Return to experience and reclaim your power. Reclaim your light. Reclaim your voice. You can't hurt me. You can touch my light. My light. My light is my light. My light is my light. You're so very loved. That's alchemy, dear lighted ones. When you allow the stories of what was to surface, to soften, to keep softening, to keep going deeper and softening, keep going deeper and softening, and keep giving yourself affirmations until you get to the bottom of that wound. You can't touch me. My body is sacred. You can't take my light. My body is sacred. My mind is pure and sacred, and I'm divine, and I am intelligent. My body is sacred. My body is sacred. My body is sacred. My body is sacred. Cleanse, 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 cleanse. Take a deep breath. And ground, 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 ground. Ground one more time. Ground, 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 ground. Feel yourself grounding to the earth, ground to the earth, ground to this new vibration. Ground your new vibration into the earth. With intention, I breathe. I have released trauma. I have released trauma. I am whole. I have released trauma. I am whole. I am whole. I am new. I am whole. I am new. Feel your body go into the earth. You want to show Gaia that you are manifesting the convergence of a new version of you, physically, mentally, emotionally, alchemically, biophysically, spiritually. And Gaia will reverberate that change. My body is sacred. I manifest new vibrational experiences, new vibrational manifestations that hold my body high, that hold my spirit high. I hold my spirit in equal measure with God. I am sacred. That's a lot of love. Oh my God, do that once a day. Do that once a day and see how you feel in 1 week. That's alchemy. That's alchemy. And it feels fucking profound. Because that's when God says, there you are, my daughter and my son. I lift you and I raise you high. God just wants you to know how much equally that you are love. That's it. Can you love yourself equally? Can you honor yourself equally and respect yourself equally? Can you hold yourself high? From now on, do that. Challenge yourself, practice it. 5D. 5D is an entrainment. It's respect, it's honor, it's valor, it's nobility. It's truth in every way. Speak your truth. Speak your truth, speak your truth, speak your truth, speak your truth. I love you, Scotty. Thank you for being a presence within the Divine Masculine Collective. And every time you step on this earth, Scotty, you are offering a new vibration for the Divine Masculine to know that it's okay to go through and move through your traumas and be courageous in owning it and claiming it. And then sharing it in whatever way you can, because the collective of men need you. The collective of men need those ones that will step forward and say, what the fuck did I just go through? But I want to help. We're going to sort it out together. There's very few men that are taking up that mantle. And that's okay, because the men are just starting their healing journey. But there's some men that have been on the path for a while. And they can step up as leaders of alchemy, of leaders of the Christ, of leaders of who we are as all sovereign beings. And men can start taking that ownership in who they are, what their stories are, what their wounding is, what their lineage clearings are, what their Akashic clearings are, what their wounding of their inner child. And they can start rewriting all of the distorted masculine expressions and distortions. So many corrupt and warped divine masculine corruptions. For as much as divine feminine has been erased from our creational story, divine masculine was placed in the most corrupt experience of expectation, and why the underground is the way it is. So distorted. Men were completely left out of the intuitive healing project. We are rewriting the Adam-Eve project right now. And that's where every man is reclaiming themselves as the divine feminine energy of healing, of intuitiveness, of loving and nurturance and nourishment of who they are as a being of light. Every man gets to rewrite who they are as a seer, as an intuitive, as a psychic, and bring higher vibrational leadership. And show every generation of men what it truly means to be a self-actualized Christic being of pure harmonization, of pure acceptance of divine feminine, divine masculine in wholeness. And be the version of you that you choose. To be sensitive, to be expressive, to ground your emotions, to know when you can balance your emotions and not be fully run by your emotions, because you're in such a great imbalance that your emotions are running the show. That's when you know you really need to spend a couple of days, turn everything off and do the healing that your body needs. If your emotions are running the show, you need to process a lot of emotional energy, but do it in a way that's safe. Do it in a way that you're not going to throw you and everybody out of imbalance, right? So that's what we offer our healing sessions for. There's ways to work through those really intense energies. And if your emotions are running the show, you have a lot of gifts as an emotional healer. So just know that it's equal opportunity. That's what's so great about Ascension, is you get to really fine tune. Wow, these are my gifts. Wow, look at what I can do with it. And you get to help others because you've been through it. Like Scotty. Scotty can talk about what it is like to be a man fully present and fully awake and aware of what Ascension is. Scotty can talk about Ascension from a male's perspective. There's very few men that hold that mantle, Scotty. I've been telling you that since our very first appointment. There's a lot of opportunity there. And not to do it because you want to rush to it and get it done. That's ego. Sit back. Right? Take a knee. Right? But if Scotty was to offer, a meetup group and talk about men in Ascension, what you go through, and then share those. Right? And then share those findings, share those perspectives. Have a video where you connect once a week and you do YouTube sharings. This is our experience as male. We're trying to heal our wounds and do it from a positive, engaged, neutral experience, and write about the male's perspective. Don't copy other people's stories. These are your stories. This is how you heal.
The divine masculine collective needs healing. So step up, men. It's time. It's your time now. It's your time to face those shadows and say, I'm a man. I'm going through ascension. I want to face my shadow. Who wants to talk about it? These are the expectations that were dumped on me when I was a kid. Let's talk about it. Right? You're going to allow the victim of that inner child to come forward and have its voice. And then you can say, I'm going to claim it back now. How can we work through this? What do we do? How do we work through this? There's tools. I offer you tools. But the divine masculine absolutely needs a leader. Who's going to be the leader for divine masculine? Through ascension. Every facet of our social experience will need a leader. And you're not leading it. You're not taking over the show. You're not dominating. You're not controlling. You're not doing voodoo. You're not putting spells on people. You're not doing it like Musk does, or like Trump does, or like Clinton does. You're not doing it from a 3D warped perspective of distortion, of ego. Nothing but ego. Nothing but false programs. Nothing but dominance and fear-based. No, you're doing it from an actualized experience. This is what we've gone through. These are the balanced perspectives of the laws of the universe. We're operating in preparing for first contact. We're allowing all of our stories to help the collective heal. This is why we bring what we bring forward, because our voices matter. Our stories matter. We want to bring balance to the divine masculine collective. Because if you bring divine masculine healing, you bring divine feminine healing. It's all one. Right? So don't ever think that there's always abundance in everything everybody's going through. Everybody here has unique talents and what they're meant to bring as a part of the collective healing, as a part of the 5D experience. Every man, every woman, equally, 100. You never ever have to worry. In 5D, there's no competition. You've healed those wounds of less than, of lack. Someone's doing something better. I'm not enough. They're doing this better. They're doing that better. And all of your focus goes to other people. No, reclaim that, go within. Heal the narcissism. There's a wound in there that says you're not enough. Dogma that kept saying you weren't enough. You got rewarded when you did this. You got rewarded when you did that. You got beat when you did that. Those are entrainments. Those are patterns. Heal it. And there's a lot of distortions for divine masculine that have to be healed. And nobody going through ascension is going to get through it without facing it. You have to face it. Face it. And we will find out that there's going to be a lot of healing within the LGBTQT environments. Because there's a whole lot of suppression. There's a whole lot of imbalance on who they thought they were, who they were told they were. Again, when we talked about the very first inception of underground sex rings and sex trafficking. And there is a correlation there, but it's because of the collective suppression of our non-expressiveness, of the distortions of the divine masculine energy, the divine feminine energy, and them having to fit themselves into social roles and conformed roles that they were meant to challenge and transcend. Because again, everybody in 5D will be androgynous. There won't be the definitions of separation and defining and labels and titles. I think in our collective, we've gone overboard. There is so much definitions that it doesn't matter what you say, you're going to offend somebody or something. There's so much over-exaggeration of titles. Everything is God. Everyone is God. Start there. There is wounding in those that come forward with those expressions that act out in them, that act in the behavior and the wounding of them. Whether you're not accepting your divine feminine intuitiveness, whether you got beat when you expressed yourself as a sensitive person, it doesn't matter what those woundings are. It has to be faced. It just does. And divine masculines need some really great role models. So step up. I'm here for healing sessions. I'm empowering you. I'm inspiring you. Get out there. You're needed. Right? Start sharing. Start loving. Start being who you are. Not another person's story, your story. Who are you? This is my story today. I'm working on stuff. Okay? I'm going to start saying no a lot more. I'm going to start calling in a lot more things that serve me. Right? I'm going to start calling truth as I see it. Get used to it. If you're going to be upset about it, go work on it. That's not my problem. If I trigger you, that's not my problem. Those are your triggers, not mine. I'm going to start living in my truth. I'm going to start speaking truth. All right? I'm here to clear the lineage. I'm trying to clear my karma. I'm trying to clear the Akash. I want to level up. I want to start manifesting from thought. I want to start manifesting a lot. I want to start manifesting for others. Right? Speak it. Speak your reality. You got this. And stay out of people's lanes, right? Right use of free will, non-interference. Number 1 law. Number 1. God will match you on that. Right use of your will. What is your will for your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body? Speak it. That's how we change the collective. Our will is to not have people that lead that have no idea about consciousness. How's that a thing? Doesn't that freak you out a little? Like, what the hell? What are we thinking? Right? These people that are pushing buttons on missiles, they have no idea about their higher self. How's that a thing? It's like, what the hell? Who thought that was a good idea? We're scratching our heads now, go, what the fuck? Maybe that $1 billion warhead program. You got those men that haven't worked on their childhood wounds? Or hello, are we waking? Are we awake? You got a childhood trauma there you haven't worked on, and you're in office? Oh my God. Right? Like, what the hell? No, you need some ascension, like right now. Like, what the fuck? Ugh. And as a light worker, and as those of you that are awake, just see, start manifesting the direction, intention, and focus of the timeline you want to be on, where the leaders are actually awake and they understand consciousness, and they're understanding their chakra systems, they're understanding calling in their own light, they're manifesting their reality from their higher self, you know, instead of a corrupt bunch of elites that go power hungry, like Mr. Trump. No names? Yeah, I'm calling it Trump. Want to have a session? Wake up, leaders. Send them my videos. Wake up. You can't be in charge of people that are awakening in a multiverse ascension that has been happening since 1987, and they know it has been. That's why they've been suppressing my channels and my information. And there's certain specific groups that refuse to have me out there, because once humanity understands how powerful they truly are, all of their corrupt fear-based systems that are billions of dollars deep, Rothschilds, then you understand the nefariousness of the activities and the little groups and the little businesses and the little money going back and forth, and who's paying who, and what court cases are being dropped and what court cases are not being dropped, and how all of these people with a lot of money have any power that they do is ridiculous, and why there's countries that are going homeless and foodless and don't even have clean water. Rothschilds. Want to have a session with me, Rothschilds? However many dimensions and how many histories of your families. We can do a family healing session if you like. I offer all of you to stand before me. Stand before me and we talk about consciousness. Oh, dear leaders of the world. Stand before me and let's speak. Let's speak about the histories of who you have been and who you are. Let's speak about how you've been given great responsibilities. You've been given great abundances. Oh, dear leaders of the planet, because I know you're listening. You watch the planet. You watch the planet and the pole. And then you seek out those like the one before you, who speaks a very high. That was from the councils. Wow, that was amazing. That was just like, they were having to speak to all of the collective leaders that are going to be, their souls are going to be activating them in their dreams and in their karma. They're going to have some awakenings over the next little while. So we're happy about that, because when they have their awakenings, they get to face the choices they've made. And if they've been given great power, if they've been given great money, I think that when I record this and this actually gets uploaded, I think that it won't buffer. If it buffered, because there was just way too much energy. Just know that the councils were actually calling out all people everywhere that are in a leadership role, that have actually been given power by the divine, that have actually been stated by the divine with great power through the many timelines. The Rothschilds, Trumps, Gates, and all those energies that have been leaders of great money, of great power. And it's up to everybody now as a divine one collective. These names are names because they're names of leaderships in our collective that have been. What have they done with their leadership and power? And it's up to nobody to know. It's up to them and God. Again, I'm just the person that is the channel for God. I don't care. I don't care because I sense energy. I'm the one that's standing before calling judgment. I'm the one that's standing calling God statements. That was a God statement. To dominate and have elite programs where the elites have elite and the nuns have none, then you're not of responsibility of the planet of oneness. And then therefore, thus then, your soul will manifest you in a different manner so that you wake up. If you have great money, if you have great power, if you have great responsibility, what do you do with it? Spirit source is calling everybody out. If you have billions and billions and billions and you're starting to create all these little secret companies where hands and monies are changing hands for more secret programs and more secret experiences, watch some of the videos on Whitney Webb. She is an independent researcher. She's done the work. She doesn't get paid by any party either way. She says what is truth. She's researched what is truth. She's been researching the papers and the documents of those in court cases, who's spending money, what money's going back and forth, and who's who and who's what. Then discern for yourself. Choose for yourself. Reclaim your power and say, am I going to give to that program? Am I going to give to that person? No. Do we want that person in power for another term? Are you kidding me? Hello? Did we not see the first 8 years of disregard for all life? Did we not see that? Hello? Hello? Consciousness, hello? Can I reclaim my power now? Can I work with my chakras now? Can I align with the heavens? Galactic Federation, hello? Pleiadians don't care about the $1 trillion business that is in a private program for the elites to do more testing, to see what humans are gonna not claim their truth and what humans are gonna claim their power, and see what program they fit within, to see how much they can get away with and how much they can keep pulling and pulling and pulling in the muddy and the greedy, unhealed, arrogant people that think that they're going to human test and put chips in brains and do all of these things for their little secret programs and plans. Fine, go and have your little creative time. But you know absolutely nothing about the higher self. You know absolutely nothing about God. You know absolutely nothing about Source Creator. You know absolutely nothing about consciousness. Because any interference within the brain itself, the most divine mechanism that we have to connect with the higher mind of thyself, of itself, of the mother, of the father, of it is, the brain that is the brain of all mechanisms, of the synaptic pathways that you're activated in every time there's a DNA and light washes through your prefrontal cortex and you have no idea what you're doing. No idea. And why is that just mind-boggling? Mind-boggling. Like, get it? Mind, brain chip, get it? How is that even $1 billion experience and testing and experiments they're doing? And they have no idea, did not even consider talking to an awakened person and talking about consciousness on how the brain will be affected in the process of ascension. You're not even considering the ramifications of somebody, anybody. This is what just blows my mind. And I'm going to say this because it needs to be said. And anybody that has been awakened for a while, Scotty, you know. Anybody that goes through an ascension, I don't care who you are. Your multi-dimensional bodies, your brain, the chemistry of your brain, the biochemistry of your brain, how your brain sends off magnetic pulses and back again, everything within the pineal, everything within you that is a sacred being of light, and everything that you are as God that connects God with your every cell in your body, how your brain thinks, how you create higher entrainment of brain thoughts. Anybody thinking, think, draw it out. Someone has a mental disorder or a mental imbalance that A, is not being diagnosed because they have no idea about consciousness. B, a brain chip without understanding consciousness at all, has no idea between now, we're just giving, for instance, it might not ever go through, but we're just saying this is just one idea from one elite program, and there's hundreds of them, thousands of them out there. If a program of a brain chip is being tested right now, and none of these things have even been conceived because they're still working from a 3D perspective. They don't understand consciousness. They don't understand spirit. They don't understand their light body. They don't understand their Merkaba. They don't understand they have guides. They don't understand they have a higher self. They don't understand that God is within every cell. They don't understand that their brain changes hundreds of thousands of times between a 3D experience and a 5D experience. You tell me what this program of a chip is, Mr. Musk. Silence across the world. Do you see what we're saying? So those that have great money and great responsibility, what are you doing with it? Are you leveling up, dear lighted ones? Let's talk, let's chat, let's have a meeting, order some coffee, let's sit and chat. And we will chat about the very basics of quantum reality. and what you're doing with the essence of God, that brain that is God. Let's have a chat, dear lighted ones. The number of changes and transmissions and transmutations, transitions that a brain goes through from 3D to 5D, and depending on what you're working on in your multidimensional bodies, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, or sexual, whatever those traumas are being released is going to change and going to affect the entire brain functioning. I feel when my teams are working on my brain. I feel that. I'm a conduit. That's what my gifts are. I have interfacing and I can feel everything. I'm telling and I'm offering and I'm asking, does anybody have any idea of the magnitude of problems that what this is going to be? Hello from Australia. I love you. Does anybody have any idea? Does that just send a ripple of like, oh my God, through your body? Those of you that are on Ascension, those of you that have watched our videos forever, those of you that understand you are a multidimensional being, any one change to your body changes everything in your body, just your body. Then the physical, the mental, emotional, the etheric field, the causal field, the psychic field, all that you are as a spirit, as a galactic, as a celestial. Do you see what we're saying? Mind-boggling, right? That's the programs that are going on with people's money. No care whatsoever about consciousness, and consciousness is everything. It is the direct evolution of all of our species. Evolution is consciousness. The more consciously aware we are, the more consciously awake we are, the more consciously in tune we are, the more consciously commandmentship of our bodies, our minds, our bodies, our spirit. We're working in harmony with God. We're working in harmony with our higher self. We're working in harmony with the functioning of our brain and knowing that things are being adjusted every day. So you tell me that a chip is going to be okay. So much information is just being missed. And billions are being spent. Is that a wise counsel? I ask you, dear humans, who are you voting? So speak, ask questions. Bring things forward. Anybody that has gone through an ascension activation, anybody that has gone through what it feels like to have your crown chakra activated, to have your pineal cleansed, anybody that works with their multidimensional bodies can attest. What do you think would occur if you had a chip put in your brain? How would that have the connection with God? That's being awake. When you can actually say anything that's coming forward, anything that is being presented to you, you can absolutely say, wow, in my truth, do I know something different now? I'm going to reclaim my power. I'm going to reclaim my body. And I would never choose a chip. Thank you. I've got God. God's going to manifest and God's going to work with me. I just trust whatever I'm given. God's going to work with me. I can manifest anything in my brain, and around my brain, I can extend the synapses. I can clear this. I can clear that calcium. I'm going. So please be discerning. And anything that you see out there, where's the energy and agenda? Where's the motive? Where's the energy behind it? Is it ego? Yeah. That's not a higher consciousness experience at all. And he will attract those that want those chips in their brain. They will be of equal consciousness. And as I told him on Twitter, I pray for anybody that would choose to be a part of that program. Because you have no idea about spirit. You've completely given all your power away to anybody but spirit. Spirit will be with you in the process, but you have no idea the ramifications and consequences of the interference of what you've just done to your multidimensional bodies, the major functioning mechanism of ascension, the mind and the higher mind, how your brain functions, how your brain can process higher vibrational information. Putting a brain chip in your brain, again, we've talked about this. This is just, again, when you're awake, you get it. You can't give somebody a job like mine. You can't give somebody that is not awake. You cannot give a 3D person a conduit role. You can't. They cannot process higher vibrational information and wisdoms. They can't process the light. They can't process the information. They can't process the information I just downloaded just now in this video. That's why I'll probably never have a meeting with Elon Musk, because he cannot process what I'm offering him. He sees that a chip in the brain is going to make us have access to the entire internet. That's going to make us smarter. It won't make you smarter. It's not going to make you smarter, honey. It just isn't. Your alignment with your higher self and understanding that, and when you clear away some density, you're always going to have access to the highest spirit. You can know something that you didn't know yesterday if you're just in alignment and you're getting rid of the old little programs that you said you needed a chip in your brain to think you were smart. You don't need to be that, because you're like God. You'll get what you get when you get it, and how you get it, and when you get it, and how you get it, because you're God. And you're kind of messing with that by putting a chip in, and it's going to make you have... Yeah. Again, where do we give value and honor to what is? Love is everything, and you got to love you first. So we're getting there. We're seeing what's really true, what's really false, what's an illusion, what is just not aligned at all. Are we aligned with this? Is this like something the higher self would do? The higher self would never tell you to put a chip in your brain. Never. Ever. Your higher self would never tell you to put a spell on somebody. Ever. Your higher self wouldn't do that. Your higher self wouldn't say, go and take something from somebody. Go take that from them. Your higher self wouldn't do that. Your higher self would say, we love you. We love you. We got something coming for you tomorrow. Just sit back and love yourself. Oh my gosh. We're doing activations. You just love yourself. Heal that wound where somebody told you were stupid. You don't need a chip. Oh my gosh. But it's okay that it's there. It's not going to take up your world. But you get to speak truth when it's in front of you. And you're not going to back down just because someone has $1 trillion. No, I'll sit with you. You have $1 trillion, I have nothing. I'll sit with you. You have a whole bunch of people working for you in $1 billion business, and you got 18,000 businesses that you brag about, and you're all over the internet saying how much you own this and you own that. I'll sit with you. I don't have anything. Would you like to talk about God and spirit and your brain and your heart and how God runs through every aspect of your breath? And how when you connect with your guides and you say, okay, guides, I'm in for this ascension ride. What do you got for me? Well, we're going to clear away some really old beliefs, and we're going to rewire your prefrontal cortex. It's going to change your whole belief about your values and your morals and what you believe to be true. You're going to forget some memories you didn't want to keep anyways. Your whole photographic little Rolodex is going to change overnight. You're going to wake up and think, why don't I remember that anymore? Because you don't need it. You healed it. You healed that story. So now you're going to have room for other higher vibrational things, higher vibrational codes. You're going to be downloading a whole complex library about genetics. What is that chip going to do? Chip doesn't know your 7th dimensional experience, does it? When you align with your higher self will bring you your 7th dimensional Pleiadian experience where you're a geneticist. That chip won't do that. That chip will only bring what is 3D, period. You're limiting yourself with that chip in every way, plus everything else that goes along with it. Does that make sense? Your higher will align you to the 12th dimension, 15th dimension, right? Honor the body that you have. Don't let anybody sell you into something that just doesn't make sense vibrationally as God. Your spirit. You have your right to know yourself as the highest version of you. And what's meant to come through and what's meant to be activated will be activated. You don't need anything else. You don't need to get boob jobs. You don't need to get anything in your body. You're perfect. You are absolutely perfect. Start loving yourself as you are right now. And if you did get a boob job, good for you. There's no difference, and God still loves you. But we're saying, why do we continue to start molding and changing who we are because of the beliefs and the perspectives of who we want ourselves to be but are already perfect? It's that shift of perspective. Nothing is needed. You don't have to want to look like 27 all the time. Why can't you just be ageless and whatever occurs, occurs? Can you not trust the universe well enough that you will be perfect in how you are? And when you hold yourself with that much beautiful effervescence, that your body, and you're going to radiate love, you're going to radiate the most self-love for yourself, you're going to radiate divine feminine goddesshood, empresshood. It doesn't matter what you look like because you're so rich in spirit. That's how you manifest. You manifest by attracting, wow, I love myself today. And you start allowing your skin to be as youthful as you want it to be because you're ageless. We're changing the whole mass We're changing quantum physics because we're becoming greater light and higher consciousness. So in that, dear lighted ones, we love you. We're going to sign off. Our donation button is below. We thank you so much. Go and love yourself. Be some love. Create some love. Think about love. Talk about love. Heal your body. Be in love. Do your youthful healing sessions at night. I've got sessions that are available for that. We love you so very much. Call in your celestial teams. Call in the angels. Call in anybody that you want to connect with. And always pay homage and respect and love so very much. You have no idea how much spirit does behind the scenes for you. So pay respect and take a knee. Take a knee once a day and just give gratitude to your ancestors. Give gratitude to Gaia. Give gratitude to all that you are. Give gratitude that we've allowed ourselves to create corruption so that we can heal it, because we become masters. We become absolutely self-loving people, and our planet is healed. Right? You're all leaders. You're all leaders. You're all leaders. So stand up and get up. We've got this. We love you, dear lighted ones. And the Holy Creator says, we love you.